first array of mock-ass mocks, trick-ass mocks, punk bitches and skip-scap skanks and scallywags, hoes, heifers, hee-haws, and hula-hoops.
What up, people? Hope everybody's ready for some fucking hating. So what up, guys? This is Tawok, Mack, and Swill, and this is the first ever Haters Ball. What the fuck is up, people?
What's up? Well, it's an honor to be here with both you two esteemed community members.
It is an honor to be here to finally do shit.
This is the first ever Haters Ball.
Feeding back on that one.
I think that was I just got rid of the Twitch, so I'll just sit here.
So we'll start this off, guys, so you know who the fuck we are, in case you're new to this. I doubt any yet, but I am Tawok. I got into Socom back in 2004. I did the very first Socom with a friend, and I wasn't that hardcore about it, but I was nerdy enough about Socom to draw maps in class and stuff. And that is what's up. In Socom 2, I led a clan. We used to meet in Green Bay for LAN parties. So Socom 2 is near and dear to my heart. And as Swill knows, fuck Socom 3. So why doesn't Swill go ahead and introduce himself on that note?
All right, well, I'm Swill. Some of you probably love me, some of you probably hate me, or maybe you all hate me, I don't know. But with my Socom background, I never played Socom 1. I started playing Socom during probably the middle part of the second half of Socom 2's life cycle, sorry. So, you know, I wasn't a heavy Socom 2 player. I got into it a little bit late. I got to play it, you know, a little bit before Socom 3 came out, and then I pretty much played Socom when it was at its absolute highest pinnacle peak, when it was at its absolute best, and that was during Socom 3.
Dying of fire.
That's fucked up. That's so fucked up, man.
No, that was the game I played the most and put the most commitment into, and that was really the first time I played with a clan and really got into it. And, you know, like I've actually said, you know, on TRS that, you know, I can fully admit Socom 2 is a better game, and I wish in a lot of ways Socom 3 had played a lot like Socom 2.
You guys hearing Swill better? I tried to turn his ass up.
But there was a lot of, can you guys hear me okay?
I don't know.
Yeah,
that's up to the chat. Someone
you.
was saying in there that they weren't, so I turned up the Skype app.
All right.
What you saying, Big Fry?
But yeah, I played mostly during Socom 3. Then I played a lot of Confrontation. I liked that game a lot as too. Obviously, in terms of a Socom game, it was fucking bunk shit compared to the other ones, but still got to play a lot and got to play with TRS a lot, and Luke and a lot of guys on TRS during the community nights and stuff. And then I've never played a single fucking millisecond Socom 4 in my life ever. So, I mean, that was the end of the road for me. So that's kind of my Socom background. Mack?
Okay, well, this is Mack is God. My Socom pedigree began in Socom 1. I was kind of like a lone wolf, was just getting into the, you know, the broadband internet connection thing. I played a little bit solo Socom 1, but nothing serious. Then Socom 2, got real serious about that in early 2004. And basically, my enjoyment of the game, I loved the game. The actual gameplay of it was phenomenal and a great time. But I really got my personal enjoyment and satisfaction from ruining the online experience for other gamers. And that my clan would go into rooms, take over the room, vote people out, team kill other clans. We'd go into clan rooms where they made the room themselves for their own clan. We'd go in there and systematically like a virus take over and boot them out of their own room, and just develop a lot of hatred and animosity throughout the entire SOCOM community to the point where I couldn't even go in a room without 5 or 6 guys for backup without getting team killed or voted out. But that was a great sense of enjoyment for me to really just kind of destroy other people's fun and experiences online. And that really filled the void in my soul for a couple of years until SOCOM 3 came out. And I kind of played that for a little while, 4 to 6 months. It was just difficult doing the transition with the needing the credit card for, to register your name and things like that and to be ranked.
Let's just be honest here, though. It was the inferior game to SOCOM 2.
Well, that, yeah, obviously. But even
Suck
with
my balls, both of you fuckers. Suck my balls.
Even with the fact that it was a vastly inferior game, if we still had the same guys playing on it, we could have probably maintained the clan unity. But it was just too difficult at that point. And then that just kind of fizzled out, and I didn't play SOCOM since. I never played Confrontation. I was a ward of the state for a few years during SOCOM Confrontation's lifestyle from mid-2008 till late 2010. I was on a state-sponsored vacation. And, yeah, SOCOM 4, I came out and was looking forward to it till I got on SOCOM.com and kind of saw the gameplay and the reviews. And
you guys want to have a laugh real quick? Just real quick. There's 36 people online in HHOUR right now. There's 41 people watching the Haters Ball.
Yes!
Wow. So we already surpassed HHOUR. Wow.
Hate.
Wow.
Bing, 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 bing,
Wow.
bing,
That's
bing,
pretty
bing,
sad. Good job, Tom. Keep it up. So, yeah, that's about it. I mean, I never touched SOCOM 4, and then I kind of migrated over to TRS from the SOCOM.com fiasco and have kind of been just in a holding pattern like everybody else, waiting for a game to come out that we could play. Hoped it was going to be HHOUR. Obviously, it's not. So here we are. Let's get started on the hating.
And according to Animal, there's 31 in the love stream. There's 40 here. So fuck you, HHOUR. Fuck you, Tom. And fuck you, Soft Stu.
I'm sure a lot of those 40 that are here are also in the love stream as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I hope they're getting the love all over their neck and chest right now. And they're enjoying every moment.
Well, I'm sure they are. Have you seen a picture of that tie-dyed faggot? He looks like a gay Taliban member. That fat fuck. He looks
Jesus Christ, you New York son of a bitch.
What a fucking
It's like a
scumbag.
Rainbow Duck Dynasty guy or something.
Yeah, he's got to go. There's something wrong with that guy. He's got that hipster tattoo on his fucking sleeve that he purposely like adjusted his stance in his photos so he could look at his gay ass fucking sleeve tattoo that his mother's credit card paid for.
Yeah, fuck that guy. But
I can't believe within 10 minutes we've already surpassed the love
getting
stream.
into like why we're here. Why are we haters of this game? What from because we've all kind of been involved with this process, and from beginning to now. I mean, just to give everybody a background of, because I think that was actually one of the questions that was one of the most asked questions I noticed, like on TRS, when they were asking us questions in the threads. They were like, well, what brought you to hating the game? Like, why do you hate it? Why do you want to see it fail? So, like, Tawok, it's your stream, so, like, start with you. So, like, why, from beginning to now, why are you a hater? Why do you want to see this thing tank?
Okay, first of all, I want to crush some rumors that are starting in the stream. Mack is actually beautiful. So I don't want anybody to get confused about that. And I'm going to get his correct picture up there.
I got you, Swill. Is Tawok there still? You want me to go?
My Skype was muted. I got this shit. It was still going through stream, though. But I was dispelling a rumor that someone was saying in Skype that Mack isn't beautiful. I'll tell you right now, Mack.
Thank you, baby. I appreciate that.
No,
I'm actually, the reason I don't have a cam is I'm running off a phone right now. So if I had my cam on, you'd basically be looking at a picture of a CD case with some scraped up cocaine residue and maybe a pile of socks on the floor.
Hey, keep the drugs off of here, and it's fucking flour that you're snorting. All right?
Okay. All right.
We'll get our stream shut down with that shit. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So the reason I'm a HHOUR hate I actually used to be one of the firmest supporters, and I used to argue with people, Swill and Smokey. I used to be one of the fine dudes. Like, oh man, you need to give it a chance, bro. This is like the last fucking obvious thing that we have. And if this doesn't happen, we're just gonna melt. Well, that obviously isn't gonna. As soon as David Sears, as soon as we started digging in, just started becoming like, whatever, fuck it. I can't do birds in the school words. Anyway, fucking David Sears, when we figured out that he left, I couldn't personally support it any longer. Especially after they kept trying to sweep it up. And oh, so my mic is fucking bullshit.
I hear you fine, though.
I hear you good.
Well, the streamers say that they can't, or the viewers say they can't fucking. So I'll pull it in a little bit for you guys.
Yeah.
Check
put it right by your
the
face,
mic.
baby.
I ain't putting it right by my face.
You're good.
Well,
And I have
put it on
paid
your
for a
face.
better mic. I actually have a decent one. I just don't. Alright, how about that?
You sound great to me.
You guys hear me alright?
Yeah.
I hear you fine, bro.
Alright. Animal says he can hear me better, and I'm going to take his word for it.
Go ahead, bro.
I gotta turn off this stupid fucking microphone noise gate. Okay, that should be fucking much better right there. I fucking set it up. Anyway, I got out when David Sears fucking was pulled out of this shit, and that was just the final straw for me, and it's been never looking back since then, so fuck them. And it gets worse every goddamn day. And the Kickstarter still says David Sears, and his name is still everywhere.
Yeah,
and they would still take your money under the guise of David Sears doing that shit. And that's complete shit. Socom's still all over it. It doesn't fucking play like Socom. I don't need to play the fucking game to know that. I can watch so many fucking streams all goddamn day long. I know how that shit plays. I can see how that shit plays. And I'm not gonna fucking spend $25 for 2 maps and 2 fucking game modes. That's like a shell of like a fucking Staples employee's first shot at a fucking 3D video game. So it's just... Someone that's better at making video games can do it, and these people are fucking trying to scam people out of money, and I ain't having it anymore. And hopefully we persuade a few people with our happy little haters ball here. So, without further ado, Swill, why do you disapprove of this?
Well, most people probably won't. I mean, if you haven't been around TRS within the past, year or two, or however long this shit's been going on, or whatever. I've lost track at this point. But, back, I was pretty much like anybody else when I first heard of it. When leading up to the Kickstarter, I mean, I was behind it. I was a supporter. I mean, who wouldn't be? Being a Socom fan, I heard about it. It sounded like a cool idea, and and then once I found out David Sears was involved, it's like, well, fucking A, like that's the dream, right? That's what you want. So. I was a supporter of it, and, my PS3 it got the fucking yellow light a few months ago, so I haven't gotten it fixed or gotten a new one yet. I just haven't really had the time or the interest in getting it fixed or getting a PS4, because I don't really give a shit about the PS4 really right now either. But I actually had on my username there, the little quote or whatever you can put above your name, it actually said, it might even still say it. If you have my PSN name on your friends list there, you can check and see. Maybe it still says it, but it actually says check out HHOUR, because I was a passive supporter of it. And then for me, the very first red flag, and I've talked about this before on TRS, was just the Kickstarter itself. Like when you read, like for me, when I read that Kickstarter, what they were asking for. I mean, it was basically, forget all the text that they wrote. Basically, what they said was, give us money so that we can hopefully get someone else to give us money. And it was like, my first thought was, this is a terrible idea. Because if you look at a lot of Kickstarters that involve games or movies or whatever, a good example is Kung Fury, the 1980s, like, action comedy fucking cop movie that just came out.
Oh man, it's good shit.
If you don't know about that, check it out. It's fucking hilarious. But you know, the money they raised went straight into development of the movie. And if the money that SOF Studios was asking for was going to go straight into developing the game for maybe Steam, then I would have been willing to donate to that, But to just ask for money to build something that you hope is maybe possibly going to get you someone else to give you money, was just a huge red flag just straight off the bat, and it was too risky. I wasn't going to donate to that, and was proven right. I hate to say it in a way, but proven right, and so that was the first red flag, and then just going from there, from there I was just kind of like a passive supporter, so I wasn't against it at that point. I didn't want to see it fail at that point. I was just like, well, I'm not going to donate to this shit, but I mean, hopefully it works. And my stance from there was always, I doubt it's going to work. They have to get lucky. They have to find the right kind of investor, somebody who's into niche, independent projects like this, because this is not going to make a lot of money for anybody, and that's just the reality of it. And I know you guys will remember me saying that on the forums and stuff, and a lot of people who've been kind of following me in the conversation about this topic. But so I was a passive supporter, but then these little things started to happen that started to chip away at that, like TRS and Urgent Fury just getting cut for no reason. It's like, what the fuck is on, as soon as they got their 250 grand or whatever it was, they just fucked everybody off. And it was like, so that was another big red flag. And that's kind of when I started to go downhill a little bit more. And then obviously when they nuked the forums, well, and this is probably the one thing I'll give Tombstone credit for when, being moderately intelligent is the David Sears thing. Picking it up and then taking it to the SOF forums and asking, what's the deal with David Sears? Nobody's heard from him, and just the fact that they obviously didn't want to answer the question because they didn't want to, they didn't want to disturb their cash cow. They didn't want to scare anybody away.
Do they ever answer the tough questions?
They knew that was the reason anybody with Socom pedigree or background was involved with this. So, when they were hiding that, and then when they shut down the forums, that was it for me. I said, fuck these guys, fuck Tom up his little fucking sphincter asshole, and then I was just a hater from that point on. And from there on, they just gave me more and more and more reasons to just hate it, more and more and more and more, and want to see it fail, So, I mean, we could talk about it all day, but there's just so many examples of Tom just being a douchebag and all his minions and moderators that he has on his puppet strings, which we'll get into. The shitting is coming, everybody, so stick around. That's the best part of this whole thing.
There's a low shit system approaching with the shit hurricane, man.
But just so I don't take up all the time here, I have always said that. I'll finish with this. I have always said that if SOF and Tom sincerely and honestly came out and said, you know what, guys, we apologize. Some of the things we did before in the past were wrong. We shouldn't have done them. And if they were to show some transparency and some honesty, and just a little bit of, being a little bit apologetic for the way they've conducted themselves,
a little contrition,
I would have no problem changing my stance. But we all know that's never going to fucking happen, especially at this point, because they're about to go out of business. So,
yeah, woo!
It's probably too late for that, but that's why I'm a hater, because Tom's a fucking douchebag. All right, Matt, your turn.
Well, we all kind of run along the same lines. Initially, when the Kickstarter was announced, obviously it was a really exciting time for everybody. I think everybody at TRS kind of really went the extra mile. Even people that couldn't donate. I myself personally didn't donate at the time. I was not in the best financial situation, but I did what I could do as far as promotion, things of that nature. And when it hit, it truly was a glorious time for everybody. There was a time of hope and excitement and anticipation. And that summer, it was just terrific. It was really like a rejuvenation for everybody within the community. And it was a great time. For me personally, the first thing I kind of saw, there was some shady shit going on, is when, I don't remember who did it exactly, who brought it up, but in, I believe, August of 2013, they just dumped TRS as a partner from their listing on their website.
Yeah.
With no fanfare, no announcement whatsoever, just kind of dropped them. And for me, right there, that was enough.
Yeah.
From that point on, I was like, fuck SOF, and I shit talked them, relentlessly. I still was in the camp of, hey, I mean, fuck them, but if they make a game, that's fine. But they're scumbags, because I knew what the staff at TRS and what all the members of TRS had done to push that game and to push that Kickstarter to get it over the limit. So for them to do that, that was a bullshit, bitch-made type move. Then after that, obviously, it was just a series of fucking calamities, one after the other, that you couldn't fucking script in a Hollywood movie. I mean, every fucking wrong turn they could take, they took. Every Bush League move they could make, they made.
Yeah.
And all along the way, I mean, for a year after that, they were a fucking joke. Then it culminated with the Sears fiasco, which was absolutely glorious as far as, what went on there. I mean, from Toom making that thread, which was timed perfectly, he put it on there at like 2 a.m., so it gave it a chance to blow up overnight before they could delete it. And once it had enough views, then the toothpaste was out of the tube at that point, and they had to address it. And that 3 or 4 days was fucking glorious. I mean, it was like a feeding frenzy. Everybody was just all over their shit. And all they had to do was come out and just eat a little crow, tell the truth, and, all would have been forgiven, I mean, just stand up, take your medicine like a man, and we'd have been a forgiving group. But again, Tom wanted to kind of be a bitch about it and play some underhanded games and nuke the forums and shit like that, and just continue to make the wrong move every possible time. And, now we are where we are. He's a known fucking scumbag. He's a piece of shit. His ethics, his company, the people involved with him are all pieces of shit. He surrounds himself with fucking shills. He's like Hitler in the last days in the bunker. There's nothing left for him. Basically that's what it comes down to. And I know me and Swill went back and forth epically for 20 pages at a time. I would still say, like, hey, I want the game to succeed, but and Swill would say, yeah, but he's a scumbag. Why would you want that? And I still, some part of me kind of feels that way, but not anymore. Like, I don't want him to make the game. He just doesn't deserve the support of this community.
Exactly.
He just doesn't.
Yeah, that's how it is for me too. It comes down.
That's all I have to say about it. Just go ahead. I mean, that's really where I'm at. Like, that's why I hate it.
Me too. I just, I'm not gonna put a game over. I don't want to see Tom be rewarded for what he's done. He doesn't deserve it. And no game means more to me than that. I'm not going to put, that's just my own personal, perspective. I understand everybody's different, and that's fine. You can do whatever the fuck you want. But, just on a personal level, I just don't like to support that kind of shit. It's the same reason, that I don't like to go to Walmart. I don't eat fucking McDonald's, because they're pieces of shit companies. I just don't like to support that. If I can make a choice not to support that kind of behavior, that's what I try to do. So,
yeah, and I mean, I respect that. Like, obviously, my ethics in comparison to your ethics are polar opposites, really, but to say the least.
Yeah, of course.
But
cool, man.
I definitely understand where you're coming from, because, frankly, I wouldn't care if Tom or this company screwed over, like children in Indonesia to get me my game. That's fine. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't care if, like, a bunch of third world fucking scum were exploited to get me my game. That's fine with me. I love that. I love wearing, T-shirts I get in 5 packs for $8 because some 11-year-old was whipped and forced to do it in a sweatshop. I love that shit. But I don't like the fact that he exploited our community for it. And I didn't like the fact that somehow TRS became the bad guy in all of this. Because we were never the bad guy. If it wasn't for us, he never would have had his fucking company to begin with.
That's true.
That was my thing.
Speaking of haters, I think it's important that we give a shout out to, because there's, we're not the only haters in this community. And I think it's important that we give a proper due shout out to certain people. You know, people who not only were haters for a while, but people, you know, who went from being nut huggers and white knights to being haters too. You know, I think Psychopath definitely deserves a shout out, dude. Sending all of the SOF staff porn, fucking brilliant.
I got an AFK
Perfect.
for like 2 minutes. You
Can
guys
I just
keep rolling.
Perfect.
Hey, can I just say, Psycho actually PM'd me the pictures that he sent to those mods over there. And I have to be honest, I still haven't recovered to this day. And frankly, I think Tom should have had him arrested because that's fucking disgusting. If you saw these pictures, my children are going to be haunted by them, and they haven't even been born yet.
Yeah, I never signed up over there. Thank the fuck God, but he definitely deserves a shout out for sure.
Believe me, brother, you don't want to see these pictures. Even for gay porn, they're fucking bad.
But
and
obviously,
Jesus thinks you're a cunt. That's a good one.
Obviously, Smokey, he was going to do it with us, but he's got like some personal stuff. He couldn't really do it with us tonight. But he's obviously, I mean, he's been the longest hater by far. I mean, just from, I think from the very beginning, he was a hater. And he was the original play a hater by far. And
well, I have to tip my cap. Everybody really should tip their cap to Swill and Smokey even more so because myself included, they ate a lot of shit from a lot of people on the forums because the two of them really, from the beginning, always kind of took the more of, you know, the negative stance on everything. And even myself, I gave them shit for it. I came around a lot sooner than most, but
yeah,
they really did eat a lot of shit. And it turns out at the end of the day, they were both right, you know, and it's unfortunate and it sucks, but they do deserve credit for seeing the writing on the wall and kind of seeing through all the bullshit.
Smokey, yeah. And even another person who deserves a shout out is Ice Demon Elite. Ice, I don't know if you're out there, but he was another one. He was like a passive, quiet, reserved hater. Like he would just pop in from time to time and be like, "Man, fuck this game."
Who's that? I didn't hear you, bro.
Huh?
Who's that?
That was
Who did you just say?
Ice Demon Elite.
Oh, Ice Demon. Yeah.
He would pop in from time to time. He would make a post here and there and be like, "Man, this shit's gonna fail. Fuck Tom." And it was just like, I mean, this is way back too. This is like way back near the beginning. He was.
Well, that's another. That really goes towards more of the reasons why I really started shitting on SOF because the shit they were doing to people, like when they banned Ice Pick for that, all he did was link a thread that was listed on another website.
Yeah.
And they banned him for that. Like he had nothing to do with that. All he did was link a video. What
the fuck?
Yo, mother.
You good?
Oh yeah, I'm good, bro. I've been sitting in on this for a minute.
But then we had,
so when I saw that, what really sent me over the edge, what really pissed me off was when they banned my boy Precision, dude. That was just over the top. That's when I went into full attack mode. Like, if you guys remember when the shit went down with Tombstone and he made that thread, it was just like a fucking feeding frenzy. It was insane. I remember that was like, what, the end of October? I had like 900 posts going into late September last year. And when that shit went down, I didn't sleep for 3 days. Like, I was up, I called out of work. I was on the fucking forums every single day because it never stopped. Like, I couldn't sleep for 3 days because so much new content was coming out. And I was just cranking out mattress memes and shit like that, like, nonstop. It was just the most glorious time.
That was you.
It was like I was on death.
You were the originator of the fucking mattress memes, weren't you?
Yes, I will take credit for that, yes.
You deserve all the credit in the world for that, man. That was you. I remember that shit was hot.
Dude, they just kept coming, man, but it was like that particular time was just crazy. That 3 days was like, I can't describe it. I was almost the adrenaline that was going through because I was going from SOF back to TRS and just reading all the posts. And when it happened, when that post that Tomb wrote really started taking off, the nut huggers over there were still poo-pooing it and saying, "Oh, you're speculating." TRS, they call us the real speculators. And then, sure enough, when they came out with the fucking announcement, then it was like, "What now, bitches?" And we just went nuts on them. You know, it was fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah, Ice Pick is one too. There's a couple people who were like supporters and then came over. You know, like Animal was obviously one. He was over there as a mod, and then I got to give credit to him. I mean, I gave him shit. I gave him a lot of shit when he was a mod over there, and then he had the actual fucking balls to come over and, you know, recognize what was going on and actually be willing to have a fucking spine and change his stance. You know, and then Big Fry did the same thing, and I probably gave Big Fry even more shit than I gave Animal. I gave Big Fry a ton of shit. Not even really a ton, just the bit I gave him was heavy. So, but he, again, you know, had the courage to see the writing on the wall, and he didn't take any shit from Tom, and he wasn't willing to, you know, just suck on Tom's thumb when he stuck it out, and he was willing to you know, change his stance. You know, when he came out, when all the shit went down. So, you know, those guys deserve a shout out for being haters. And I don't know who, are we missing anybody else? Evo.
Well, I mean,
he was a hater too.
Well, I know a big one was Fighting Phantom. He used to be a fucking SOF shill, like ridiculous shill for that. And then he came over, and once he realized and he kind of started looking at things objectively, he became an actually really good constructive poster on TRS, which is why it's such bullshit where they talk about us being haters or whatever, because anybody who actually comes over and behaves like an adult and wants to have rational dialogue, they're going to be treated with respect. It's the fucking idiots that come over, like these clowns, like that little rash of clowns we had come over when the Rev and Luke thing was going on, and they wanted to troll the shit out of the site, and it was like, oh, the real butt hurt, her, like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's not even funny. Like, nobody even is entertained by it. So, of course, you're going to get ripped on. If you came over and you gave, like, legitimate, cogent reasons why you thought HHOUR was a good game or whatever, you'd be debated on it respectfully.
Yeah, that's true. So, those are some haters that deserve some recognition, for sure, because there's definitely been more than us. And people way before us, a little bit after us, but everyone who's a hater deserves a little bit of little time in the spotlight.
Can we take a moment to appreciate how Down the Street is in my chat right now?
Who?
Down the Street, everybody's favorite retard.
Oh, DN Street.
Street?
Y'all, you homies know that HHOUR's the bomb dizzle. It's the closest thing to Socom 2 we've had ever, my man.
Let him talk his shit. Let him talk his shit.
He likes it this week? I forgot. Does he like it this week, or does he not like it this week? He's almost as bad as Suede.
Nobody's as bad as Suede.
Nobody's
as bad as Suede. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Nobody's as bad as Suede. So, but
speaking of which, that might be a good segue into our next segment.
Yes. So, the moment that everybody's been waiting for. I think this is the whole reason this thing came together. The whole reason why we're here. It's time for the main attraction of the Haters Ball. It's time to hate on some bitches. To shit all over people and fucking mack on people and just rag and just talk shit for the next however long we can talk shit about people. So what we decided to do was we came up with a list of our top 10 just biggest fucking hoo-ha, skank, scallywagon, motherfucking white knight fanboy pussy farts. And we just put them in from the worst or from the least worst down to the biggest douchebag of all. And I'm sure you can guess who that person probably is. It actually might be a surprise. It actually might not be who you think it is. But so we have a top 10. But what we're going to do first is we're going to start with some what did we say we were going to do actually? We're going to do honorable mentions first, or are we going to do the top 10 first?
We're going to start from least notorious to most notorious.
Why don't we chat? Chat, what do you want to hear first? You want to hear the top 10, or you want to hear honorable mentions? You tell us what you want to hear first. Who do you want us to shit on first?
Those dirty motherfuckers.
I'd go with honorable mentions because we want to have the worst ones at the end to talk the most shit about.
So what do we want to do first? Honorable mentions then?
Yeah, throw them out. What do you got?
Honorable mentions first. All right. Well, first honorable mention, we'll go with someone kind of recent. Is it Armasack?
Oh, Jesus Christ, that fucking guy.
Armasack.
I don't even know where to start with him because, frankly, he portrays himself as not really being an HOF supporter. He's more of just a TRS troller. So, I mean, he's a dick, obviously, but
Yeah.
he's a whiner.
Wasn't
What
it
he
really
whined
cute
to
how he
Luke
tried
for
to
what?
integrate, though? He was trying to really be a part of the community, man. Like, talking to us and learning the rules and the ins and outs and stuff, dude. Like, he made sure to summon Luke to make sure he was on the level with us. Doesn't he deserve some admiration for that?
No, fuck him.
No, he's a fucking douchebag.
All he did really was fucking whine to Luke for about, 30 posts about, is this what you want to represent TRS, blah, 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 and then whine about suicide and all sorts of other shit. But in reality, he was just there to troll. He really didn't have anything to say. And
He was 100% troll. He's 100% a troll, nothing else. That's all he's there for. He's just a fucking troll.
And he was talking so much shit. Like, one of his main talking points when he first came over to troll was about how 50% of the staff quit, the site's dead, it's fucking dying, blah, blah, blah. And then when Luke came back with his alter ego and really had a larger hand and everything, all of a sudden he wanted to start talking about, oh, let's talk about this. Oh, yeah, this is great. The site's turning around now. He's just full of shit. He was there to troll. I mean, I don't really even want to give him the courtesy of talking about him that much. I mean, God bless him. He got a lot of replies. He's got us talking about him now, so he did something right. But frankly, the guy's a fucking douchebag. So, I mean, whatever.
He is shit. All right, so that's the next one. And this one's kind of near and dear to my heart because this guy, he's kind of like, I don't know. I've been at TRS for 4 years, and in all my time of being a hater, I've had a lot of people give me shit. But this guy, he's kind of like a borderline internet stalker. But he's kind of like passive aggressive with being a douchebag. Is Dylan?
Very recent
Yes.
idiot.
Dylan, I think it's Dylan 304, whatever the fuck his stupid name is.
Okay, let me tell you who the 5 worst trolls
Yeah.
on Socom are. Dylan, 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 and Dylan.
This guy's, I mean, he's such a fucking little weasel. He'll come in and kind of be like, make a little comment about something and just be real snarky. You can tell he's, you know what's weird too? It seems like out of the list of people we have here, there's a good like 4 or 5 of them that are like, you can tell they're like hipsters. And he kind of, I don't know, for me, he kind of fits that profile. He's just really snarky about shit, and he's just really, he's kind of almost feminine. I don't know. It's really, I don't know. He's always trailing my post. Every time I make a comment, he'll make some kind of lightly, lightly veiled, passive aggressive comment about it, and it's just like, man, I've told him 1,000 times, like, dude, just give me your address. And I'll, since you want to ride my nuts so much, I'll just send you a picture of my fucking balls, and you can, make it into a shrine in your closet or something. I don't know, whatever you want to do. But
And he will do that, folks. I actually do have an autographed picture of Swill's
I've
nuts.
seen it.
I'm looking at it right now.
I'll do it. If you want it, just PM me.
And they're a nice pair of nuts. Hardly any bumps or wrinkles.
To get all the new people that are joining us up to speed, this is the HHOUR Haters Ball, where we are telling you why Tom's a piece of shit, why SOF Studios is going to be closed within a couple weeks, and why we feel this way, and why we've hated them for many months and told you all this was coming, and nobody fucking believed us. So, welcome to the fucking Haters Ball.
Welcome to the Haters Ball.
Next, dishonorable mention.
Hold on. I just want to... Hey, guys, I just want to step in here because I'm reading what DN Street is writing in the comments. Let me tell you something, Street. I've known a lot of military people, and I don't give a fuck what they served or what they did. If you're a piece of shit, just because you served in the military doesn't absolve you of being a piece of shit in civilian life. I don't give a fuck. I'll say whatever I want about whoever I want, regardless of their military service. And not to burst your bubble, there's a lot of fucking scumbags in the military. Just because you're in the military doesn't make you some kind of fucking hero. The person you are, the man you are, is what makes you the person you are. Not because you put a pair of stripes on your fucking arm and went out and did something in the military. That's all I had to say about that. Sorry. Carry on.
Do the golf clap.
Woohoo!
All right. Next dishonorable mention. No, I'm actually gonna save this guy for the last dishonorable mention. This is the worst of the. We got Beast Mode. Beast Mode. What's the deal with that thread he made recently? I don't even know how to figure this guy out. Actually, he's just kind of a fucking weirdo. That's all the reason I put him on here.
Yeah, I think Beast Mode's young, a little confused, and he's just trying to see if he can get in where he fits in, but he doesn't really know where he fits in.
I don't know. I don't think he knows what he has between his legs, to be honest.
I don't think he knows where he is most of the time, just judging by how he thinks he can jump on a forum and be like, hey, motherfuckers, let me be on this podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just kind of one that stands out a little bit. All right, last dishonorable mention before we move on to the top 10. And actually, we almost missed him, but we added him today. And he's not even really related to HHOUR, but he's just such a fucking skeezer weirdo piece of shit that you just have to talk about him because he's been around forever. Stealth. Good old Stealth.
Everybody's favorite retard.
That's a game.
How long did you have that signature up, Tawok, where he told you he was going to be showing you footage of his new game, and you kept doing a rundown?
He said that he would make me a stereotypical TRS idiot in 45 days, and I stopped counting at 353 days.
Yeah, I remember that.
Dude, that's a developer that I would support right there. Stealth.
Quite frankly, I'd have more faith in Stealth to do it than Staples Boy. I mean, from what I've seen from Staples Boy after 2 years, I mean, Christ, you could replace my brain with a sock filled with popcorn, and I'll bet you I could crank out something better than what you're looking at on HHOUR.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But he's just, what's to say about Stealth that we all don't know, man?
We took all the piss out of him, though, when Luke revoked his ability to send private messages. Now he never comes by and spouts his bullshit anymore.
Wait,
with
really?
the NDAs.
He can't send private messages to people?
No, the last time he came by, he tried. He sent a private. He would always come by and send private messages to brand new members of TRS to try to get them in his web of bullshit, so he could be like, "I'm starting a game studio in Yorkshire, England. You should believe me and feed into me. Ask me how
But
big
first
my
sign
cock
this
is."
NDA.
Stealth, if you're out there, we will all stop thinking you're a fucking idiot if you will just produce one piece of evidence. I'm looking in the camera and I'm back to you. We will all stop thinking you're a total douchebag if you will just produce one piece of evidence. If you've got it, just show us, and we'll scratch you off the list, and we'll leave you alone. Just show us something. Something. Come on, it's been what, a decade now? 15 years you've been working on this game? Show us something.
Oh. Hey, Mr. Gray, actually, he's right. What about Real Kill?
Yeah, but
he brought up a good one. It's been a while since I got any new material from Real Kill, though. I'm not sure. I don't really recall.
I've never signed up at SOFs ever, so I don't know anything. I mean, I know a little bit about it from Socom.com and stuff, but I can't speak about him. I mean, you guys know more about him?
Frankly, bro, I don't. First time I never went back. You know, even after Wit unbanned me, I was just like, why do I give a shit now?
Well, I've just been rebanned after I posted the advertisement for the Haters Ball on their Twitter. They weird. Immediately went and banned me, which is kind of ridiculous because I wasn't given an option to have any type of trial. How could they possibly know that that person who made an account with my name and put something on their Twitter was the same me? I'm outraged by that.
Yeah,
I might have to speak to my attorney about that.
But I mean, Real Kill, I heard he's kind of passive aggressive. He's like, he's probably like one of those females that you like take out on a date and you ask them, they look miserable, and you ask them how they're doing, and they're like, "I'm good, everything, I'm fine.
I'm fine."
I think a lot of these fucking faggots have quieted down now that they see They're basically on the front end of a train that's going off a cliff. I mean, they have nothing to talk about. They have no shit to talk because they know they're on the wrong side of things. They know that for the past 2 years, all the shit they talked and, all the confidence they had is pretty much gone. So they really have nothing to say. So they're just going to kind of fade off quietly into nothingness and rather than continue to beat that drum,
Their only saving grace was the fact there was no evidence yet. Because Tom was keeping the footage under his pillow as long as he could. He was just keeping it under his pillow, under his blanket, as long as he could. He didn't want to show anybody, so that way nobody ran the fuck away as soon as they saw it. And he waited until like a few days before Alpha started or whatever stage they were in at that time. And it was just
it's funny. Yeah, it's funny how that works. Like Tom would basically have his schedule dictated by whatever the TRS vibe was at the time. Once one of our guys made a thread about something and said, hey, wait a minute, how come nobody's seen this game yet? How come all we hear in these fucking idiotic quick looks is the same fucking horse shit? Like, working hard, guys. Oh, talking to events guys. Yep, we're right there.
Getting closer.
Ahead.
We're getting closer. We're almost there.
Yeah.
Investor meeting.
Thanks.
Advisor meeting.
Thanks, guys. Oh yeah. Oh Christ! Don't get me started on that shit.
I'm
that motherfucker.
I'm meeting with Sony's president from Japan. He told me. He told me he wants to.
That's a perfect example of what type of scumbag that fucking guy is. Because when he had that picture with Sears and he posted it and he was so blatantly and defiantly putting it up there like, oh, advisor meeting. Look, I'm with David Sears. All you guys talking shit. Look at you now. How do you feel now? Not a fucking word since then. Nothing. He hasn't said shit about it. He put the picture up and let all the fucking retards over at SOF eat it up. And all of those fucking idiots came running over to TRS going, oh, what do you guys have to say now? Look at this picture. Oh, you guys were wrong.
They were all jizzing all over the place.
Yeah.
I have some amazing news for you guys. If you go to Tie-Dye Dude's stream right now and you say the word hate in his stream, your message is deleted.
Who's in there right now? Like 11?
There's 51 people in the Lovers Ball and 56 in the Haters Ball.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
But that really irritated me, that picture with Sears, because it was such a scumbag, blatantly obvious maneuver in what he was doing. And that really speaks a lot to Sears, too. I mean, Sears gets a pass on a lot of this shit. Sears is just as culpable and just as responsible for all the speculation that goes on as Tom is. I don't know what type of fucking handcuffs he has on him with his NDAs or whatever else he's got going on, but Sears could have fucking squashed a lot, 90% of this bullshit, by just making one statement. That's all he had to do, and he never did. He allowed this rampant speculation to go on for over a year. And to what end? And then at no point ever, even after that picture, he would allow Tom to use his likeness to basically, he can use that to get more money from people, because now some idiot might see that picture and think, oh, Sears really is still involved. Yeah. He's not fucking involved. Shit.
Well, and too, it's people were going, oh, look, he's had a meeting with David. That means he's an advisor. And like at the time, I think this is when like footage was starting to come out or whatever. I'm like, even if David Sears is an advisor, it doesn't mean jack shit, because look at the fucking game. It looks like a piece of shit. He's obviously not advising anything, or if he is, it's not getting applied to the game anyways. So
did somebody just seriously say in chat that Sears' job was done when the Kickstarter was funded? Because if you're saying that seriously, I'm going to take a problem with that.
Well, he might not understand what a creative director means. Yeah.
That means he creatively directs himself to another game studio that actually signs a paycheck.
So that's like saying Spielberg's job is done once the funding for Jurassic Park comes in. He doesn't have to do anything else. Yeah. Oh, we got the money for it, but I'm good. Yeah. We'll turn it over to a Staples employee. Everything will be fine. You fucking idiot. How fucking dumb are you?
Yeah. Yeah. You're an idiot. Next.
Yeah, next, please. So,
those are kind of the honorable mentions, so let's do it. Let's crack into the top 10. Top 10 biggest.
Here we go. Top 10.
Skanks, scallywags, stupid ass, dumbass, fucking douchebag motherfuckers, man. Let's do it. You guys ready?
Oh, yes.
Chat,
Go ahead. What do you got?
Chat, you ready? You ready? Let's do it.
Roll. Number 10.
10. Monkey.
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 The Code Niner faggot who comes over to TRS and whines about morality and cries about people being told to kill themselves because it's so immoral while he destroys games with Code 9. That monkey? Yeah, he's a fuck. He's a little faggot. Fuck him. And I don't know. He needs to put a space after his commas because that shit really fucking gives me anxiety. Whenever he makes these posts, he puts a comma after a word and he doesn't put a space after it. And that shit irritates the fuck out of me. It makes me want to fucking kill hamsters.
I can't. The thing is, I instantly can't take it seriously. You just can't fucking basically spell a word or put a fucking sentence together. That's the thing. You got like him and you got like Street Marine and a couple other people that can't fucking spell for nothing. Like, dude, quit. Instead of code-nining on Socom and sticking Tom's fist up your ass all the time, go to fucking 3rd grade and learn how to spell a word and make a fucking sentence again. Jesus Christ, man. I'm probably contributing to your internet because you're such a fucking dumbass. You probably can't get a job anywhere and you're on fucking welfare. And my money is probably helping you talk shit to us on TRS. So.
And the problem with Monkey is he can actually be occasionally he can be tolerable, and there's been times where he's actually conducted himself, in a fashion that warrants some amount of respect. But I think what we're seeing, the death throes and the death rattle of HHOUR, you're seeing a lot of the real vitriol and nastiness and malignancy come out of a lot of these fanboys who have invested so much time, and to see their pet project dying right in front of them, and the people, us, who have been calling it all along, are kind of, dancing around the fire right now. You're going to see the real bad side of them come out. You're going to see a lot of nastiness and, lashing out.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because I eat that shit up like a fucking buffet. I love that shit. Your game sucks. It's going to fail. You wasted 2 years of your life on it, and I get to laugh at you now. That's how this works.
The tier collection jar has already already in place, man. The tier collection it's not going to be much longer. It's not going to be much longer until we start collecting the tiers. It's going to be fucking.
Maybe we should do some type of pool on when SOF is actually going to close their doors. I say it's going to be before the holiday season.
No, you know what? Well, you know what else we should place bets on. What country we think fucking Tom is gonna run to? What suitcase? He's gonna pack his whatever money he can fucking exploit from all these idiots, as long as he can squeeze it out, and he's gonna squeeze it out as long as he can. He's gonna stuff it into some fucking bags, and he's gonna fucking flee to some country somewhere. What country do you think he's gonna run?
I think that's why the high price on the early access $24.99 was just asinine. I think he was hoping he would get a big enough initial sale of it that he could pocket that and maybe, get out of Dodge. But at this point, I think the money's spent. I don't really think he's got a golden parachute that he can get out of town on. I think it's back to the used car lot for Tom after this.
Yeah, I don't think he's got enough money to piece out, man. Like, when you think about it, he only sold, according to that Steam DB or whatever that dumbass website is that you don't even know if you can trust, they said they only sold like 3,000 copies of the game. And at $25, that's only 75 grand before Steam's cut. You pay a junior programmer $5,000 a month to be a junior programmer. They claim to have a staff of 12. There's no fucking money left. There's no fucking money left. Otherwise, Sears would still be there blowing smoke up our asses.
Well, does that number,
even if he was
does that number include the people who got it for free, or is that only sales? You gotta remember, like
that includes the people that got it for free. It does.
Yeah,
because they do a lot of gymnastics with that. Like when they were doing that, they have these different terms like pre-owners and shit like that. So what they try to do is they beef up their actual number content.
Yeah,
and it's probably you could cut that in half. Don't forget to factor in taxes. So even if he wants to delay the tax payment until next fiscal year, he's going to owe money. on it because it's a company. So even if he tried to skip out, he'd be skipping out on a tax bill as well. So at the end of the day, he's probably in the black right now.
Yeah, like that 3,000 something number. You know that you know, the overwhelming majority of people who actually own this thing are people who got it for free. Well, not for free, but they didn't buy it off Steam. They got it for donating or buying a fucking cookie or whatever the fuck it was, buying a stupid ass T-shirt. Those are the people. It was given to them through those channels. So I wonder how many people actually paid $25 on Steam for this game. I would love to find out that number. I would love to see what that number is because I bet it's extremely
just
low.
Jump in here. I'd like to address. I'm reading the chat and I see that Psycho put something up about Tom lying about how many work there. I agree. What type of company do you know that refuses to list who their employees are? He has, supposedly they have all these people working on the game, yet they won't list who's working on the game.
Yeah, you know why?
Merit or any of any note that was actually involved with the production of the game, wouldn't you think they'd be screaming that from the mountaintops? But they won't let you know who's working on the game. Why is that?
Because DRS. When people, you know, you had people like Luke and a couple other people that were watching the LinkedIn accounts of these employees of SOS, and they were, you know, listing themselves as former employers, employees of SOS Studios, and you know, their past projects were HHOUR and all this shit, and you know, we started writing about it on TRS, right? So when Tom saw that, he's like, well, I can't list my employees anymore because once they leave, people are gonna find out. So he just kept that shit. And there was another.
It's funny though. Anybody that knows anything about investments and investing in stocks or investing in companies or anything like that, they know that when you want to invest in a company and you're basically trying to be a publicly traded company for all intents and purposes, your staff, and especially your creative staff, that's the driving force behind the product that you're trying to sell. These are things that you need listed so that potential investors can look and say, oh, okay, here's this guy working on his game. I remember he did this job, so I know he's a good employee. He's a good designer. So that's something that maybe will make me more interested in investing. I personally think he's full of shit. I honestly believe at this point it's him, Kevin's girlfriend, and the pizza delivery guy showing up at that office every day.
Probably. I'm sure the mailman is rolling the yard outside. Yeah, that's a joke. I mean, just with SOS Studios, all you have to remember is very simple. Anything they say is going to be a bullshit lie. It's all damage control. It's been like that for a long time now. All of his quick looks and, oh, yeah, we've got investor meetings and everything's great. Or, you know, everything's trucking along and, you know, he's full of shit. Everything is damage control. It's typical corporate behavior. You know, and that's how it's, you know what? And that's why it's been so easy to be a hater for so long. It's behavioral patterns. You know, you can spot these behavioral patterns. Behavioral patterns don't change in people unless they actively change it. You can see the results of them changing it. I mean, you could just see it. Everything he did was a lie. He lied about this,
exactly.
About that. He cut people out. He bullshitted people. You know, you could just see it.
The best indicator of future behavior is past behavior.
Exactly.
And he's done nothing to change anything. Even when caught red-handed, even when he was completely just raked over the coals and raped with the Sears fiasco, he tried to be contrite and he tried to look like maybe, oh, we're trying to change. And these fucking quick looks are just the same fucking bullshit, the same gruel he feeds to the drooling idiots over at SOF every week. So the same 5 retards can go, great update, Tom, thanks. Yeah, green up, full steam ahead. Yeah. It's like fucking Jonestown over there. It's a joke. Yeah. And it really, like, there's nobody left. I mean, there's probably 5 or 6 guys now anymore. You got your Eagle F-15s and your Suedes and your fucking, you know, those type of morons that still actually are actively involved in this stupidity. But they're dying. They're dying off. And it's, you know, it's near the end. It's, you know, we're reaching the end of the movie here.
The train is fucking approaching the ravine. It's getting there. But, all right, so that's Monkey. Monkey's number 10. Number 9. Drum roll again for number 9. Number 9, kind of a recent addition, but he's been enough of a fucking piece of shit to warrant being on the list. Wild Eye.
Okay, I'm
Wild
still
out.
not fully convinced that he's his own person and he's not Tom's alter ego that gets pissy, drunk, and posts on TRS.
The German. He's a German, isn't he?
Is that the
Claims to be
German
a
proxy
German.
guy?
That's the German
Claims,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the guy Luke called out on that. Yeah, I agree with Tawok there. I think there's very not good solid evidence, but there's good circumstantial evidence to think that that might actually be Tom.
You guys see, like, his mannerisms are the same. He's that fucking,
There
like,
really
middle-aged
is. I'm
guy.
not too familiar with his posting. I know he's your typical, whiner. What they do is they'll take things that I say, that might involve cancer or suicide, and they'll latch on to them with their victim society, and then they'll whine to Luke long enough to get to Luke to where Luke has to address them. And it's typical of a defeated person. I mean, when you can't actually address the points and you can't actually address the facts of the situation, and you have to just look at hurt feelings and then whine to teacher and say, my feelings have been hurt, you pretty much know where they stand. They have nothing to say.
Well, he fits into like the Armasoc category. He's just a fucking blatant. He's just a fucking troll. He doesn't contribute to anything in society. He's just a big troll, man. Period.
Well, the funny thing about them is their criticism is always, oh, well, it's the same 5 guys over here talking the same shit. Well, yeah, and it's the same 2 or 3 trolls responding to us. So, what's your fucking point? Because we're not following you around anywhere. You don't see us making alter egos to go follow Wild Eye over on SOF and troll them because nobody gives a fuck. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, whether HHOUR fails, succeeds, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to be on TRS, and I'm still going to be talking to my friends about whether it's HHOUR or whether it's, who's got better hot dogs, New York or Chicago, or who's got, anything. Because the interactions there and the conversation we have there is basically more relevant and more interesting than anything that we could be talking about that involves HHOUR.
I'm going to take a piss real quick. It's an emergency. I'm going to be back in like 1 minute. Hold on.
I need to grab my cigarettes anyway, so I'll be right back too. We'll take a few minute hiatus here, guys.
Hey, Piper, I just read that. You know what's funny? Swill actually found that picture, and he didn't even know who Dice Clay was. I told him he needs to look it up and listen to his routine. He had no idea who the guy was. All he did was he Googled New York douchebag, and that's the picture that came up. Yeah, I told him. I said, "Listen, he's from the late '80s. His shit in the late '80s was hysterical, but Swill had never heard of him."
I know that.
I told him to check.
And that's weird too. That's because it's comedy. Like when it comes to comedy, the farthest I go back is Carlin. Like Carlin's an idol of mine. I mean, when it comes to music, I'll go back as far as the '20s. My favorite music is jazz, so I'm a huge jazz fan, and I listen to. But with comedy, Carlin's probably the oldest that I go back, but
Carlin was around since the '70s. Dice was huge, like from '87 to like the early '90s, and then he fell off completely. But his shit from the late '80s, like he did all dirty nursery rhymes and stuff, and he plays up the whole like Jew from Brooklyn role. He's a Jew who tries to act Italian, basically.
Yeah. All right, so that's Wild Eye. Fuck that guy. I just did a rhyme.
Yeah, he's a fuck. Yeah, fuck him.
All right, number 8. We got a little bit of a drum roll. Number 8, 7 Seals. The fucking
funniest thing about him, I remember, was he was talking a whole bunch of shit in that subreddit. Yeah, I got called out on it. And then, after all the shit he talked, a couple months later, he showed up in a thread at TRS and tried to be all cool and ask us a question about HHOUR, which was kind of like slanted more towards a negative type of opinion about HHOUR. Yeah. And me and Slick immediately called him out and were like, "What, motherfucker? Like, how are you going to come over here and what, shit's cool? Fuck you." And then Slick pulled out his entire post history to blow him the fuck up. He then turned around and deleted one by one all of his fucking posts and then asked Luke to erase his entire profile because he couldn't deal with it. He's that much of a bitch. So he's just ridiculous.
Got caught out. Yeah, but he was.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say about him. He wasn't even good at what he did. He wasn't even a good troll. He was too much of a coward to hang around.
Yeah, he was.
Slick called him out. I mean, Slick is like, you can't fuck around with Slick. Like, you better watch what you say, because Slick will pull some shit from 5 years ago, like CSI style, and he'll fucking just jam you up with your own words. That's what makes it so beautiful, is he doesn't even need to say anything to you. He'll take shit that you wrote that you don't even remember you wrote, and he'll screw these people up with it.
That's why I never talk shit to Slick. I mean, he's never given me a reason.
You and me both, brother.
Fuck that. I'm not getting caught in that web.
All right, who we hating?
Seven Seals, that's the perfect word to describe him. He's a little bitch, man.
He actually was the kid when Tombstone did that thread about Sears on SOFs, about where Sears, he was calling us the real speculators before actually released the supposed statement from Sears. Yeah, right. And I came back on and I said, "Oh, speculators, huh? What now, bitch?" And he had nothing to say, of course, because he's a faggot, but whatever.
All right. That's number 8. Number 7 on the list. Gotta leave it up to chat. Chat, who do you think number 7 is? What are some guesses we got? Number 7. What do we think?
It's Lukenbacher.
Any guesses? Think hard. Who haven't we covered yet? Number 7. They're gonna get more and more familiar as we go here, and the shit's gonna get
7. Yeah, 7 might be a little late for them because we haven't gone through enough names. Once they realize who hasn't been named yet, they'll be able to guess better.
All right, number 7. Street Marine, our very own.
Oh boy.
Mack, I'll
Where to
let you
begin?
take this one. This is all you.
Oh God. Who's going on this one?
That's you, Mack. This is
Oh boy. Really? I'm a little torn here. I know, is he still in the stream? I don't even know.
I hope,
Street.
I hope he is in the
Street. Yeah, Street to me.
He probably transferred over to the.
He's got some problems, man. I don't know where to begin with him. He's definitely a fanboy and a weaselly little cocksucker. But I think, honestly, with Street, he just talks a lot of shit. Really has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. He intentionally plays up the stupidity angle, and then the second he gets called on, he hides behind the retard defense.
Like, I can't decide. I can't decide. And I think you and I were talking about this, Matt. I can't decide whether he's actually.
He is in this chat.
Really
he is
fucking stupid, or if he's just like, if it's just an act. Like I don't know.
Well, I know Slick had brought up the fact that he had a whole separate persona on Socom.com playing some autismo. And it seems to me like every time he gets called on his shit, he hides behind a retard card. Like, what? I'm retarded. But you can't do that because I've saw the kid's video. He was perfectly articulate.
Yeah.
He could speak perfectly fine. But then when he types, I can't decide whether he's a wigger or an idiot, or like a combination of the two. You know what I mean? Now, by default, all wiggers are idiots anyway, so I guess that answers its own question. But the fact that he intentionally types up his shit like so stupidly with the extra letters and hey, was you all gonna be watching HHOUR and shit, yo? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, it's not that difficult. Like, you actually have to try harder to write stupidity like that. Just write your shit properly. Don't think that like every third word with an extra letter at the end, is a misspelling. Because on certain words, he doesn't put 3 N's at the end of then. It's just fucking ridiculous. I don't know. The guy needs to grow up and stop trying to act like either a wigger or a retard.
We
or
already
both,
got the
fuck
retard defense. He's the Special Olympic state champion of Ohio.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
In what? The 100-meter drool?
Oh, that ain't right.
That was awesome, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the only thing better than winning the Special Olympics is not being retarded. But, whatever.
Him.
I mean,
Street, no mercy, man. If you're gonna, I don't care if you are retarded. I don't care what you are. If you're gonna, don't play that card. don't play that card. Even if you are retarded, anybody who's retarded, if you're going to come onto the forums, you're going to put yourself out there on the web and talk shit to people and try to put yourself in front of others, you gotta be ready to deal with the shit that comes with that. So, don't play that card from here on out. You're getting called out in front of everybody. Don't play that card from here on out. Don't try to play the victim. If you're gonna post at TRS and go to SOFs and all that shit and talk about how you love the game, and I mean, he's such a spineless little fucking narc. I mean, he fucking SOF Studios banned him, and then he, as soon as they unbanned him for what he claims he has a reason for it, but whatever the reason they were for unbanning him, all of a sudden he's licking the taint again, sucking on the teeth.
Yeah.
As soon as he got unbanned again, he was right back on that fucking train. And if you're not,
you can't talk shit and then hide behind that.
Yeah.
Either be a retard and embrace your retardedness, or keep your fucking mouth shut. You know what I mean? That's one or the other. Like, if you want to come on and go, yay, HHOUR, and then leave it at that, awesome. Okay, this retard likes HHOUR. But if you want to actually engage with people and talk shit, then you're going to get called out. And if you're retarded and you make retarded comments, I'm going to call you a retard. Yep. And you can run and hide and cry and do whatever you want. And you know what? Sometimes one of the mods might even say, hey, that's not nice. You shouldn't call people retarded, and whatever. You win, okay? You had to go and tell on somebody because your feelings were hurt. So, okay, if you want to actually win an argument that way, then that's fine. But, just don't be a retard. If you're not retarded, don't act like one, because you're not getting any sympathy from me or anybody else that matters.
Yeah. The 100-meter drool.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right, we're spending too much time on these people. Who's the next AD?
So that's
Go ahead, Tawok.
6. Fantastic with a Q.
Dicktastic.
Fantastic.
You mean dicktastic.
With a fucking Q.
With a Q.
The only thing I remember about that faggot is he's got the most cheese-eating fucking faggot smile. Like, he's always grinning about something. He always looks like a faggot that just had something really nice shoved up his ass and he's smiling about it. Like, I saw a couple of his videos and he's just always got that cheese-eating fucking grin on his face.
Autistic.
And everything he does, he just screams faggot. Everything about him to me screams faggot. I don't know. That's all I really remember about him.
What's his he's in the realm of SOFs. I've never been over there, so I don't really know. Is he just a
he made his way over to DRS a few times and interacted, but he's just like a cheese eating faggot type, like, yay, green up, full steam ahead. But he actually he changed his tune a little bit after the alpha. Like, he didn't like what he saw, so he kept quiet about it. But a lot of these guys have slowed down. It's hard to name these guys now because with as shitty as the game has turned out, a lot of these guys just aren't talking no more.
Yeah. It's gone real quiet. Yeah. That's the unfortunate thing. But, all right. So that's fantastic.
We have a really angry person in the chat right now.
Do we?
Really angry.
Who's that? Who's angry?
He's just some nobody that I've never heard of before. But he's saying, we are a waste of life for being so negative. Do something, you worthless fucks. Your mom should have been swallowed, you faggots.
We're losers. He's in our stream watching us, responding to us.
He called us losers. We are losers.
Yeah.
I am a loser. Thank you.
Street. Is that your other name? Street, come on, man.
Tom,
you don't got
Tom, is that you? Come on. Is that you, Tom?
Come on, Tom. Bro.
That's
bro.
Tom. Come on, Tom.
You know what's funny?
Fuck.
These people, like, take this guy for example. He's talking shit to us on our stream. He's obviously a supporter of the game, I would assume. Why aren't you on there playing that shit? What are you doing What are you doing at the Haters Ball, man?
Why don't you add 5% to the player base of that fucking game and log into it, man?
Dude, they need you.
Can you imagine if there was a Haters Ball for SOCOM 2 in 2005, early 2005, late 2004, would any single one of us be wasting our fucking time in a stream with a few guys talking shit about how they hate SOCOM 2? Of course not. We'd be playing a fucking game. But this asshole is over here in our stream calling us losers. So what does that make you?
We're losers, damn it.
Losers.
Losers.
Don't play the game. That's what I don't understand. Why are you here? I mean, if you're... What that means is you're either not playing the game or you're playing the game and you're fucking dead because you suck at that piece of shit. So either stop being in our stream or fucking pick up your HHOUR game or go do something, man.
Get good, bitch.
Get good. I never understood.
Yeah, well, it's not like you even know how you get killed in HHOUR, right? Doesn't it just immediately...
that Bailey's tool bag.
Yeah, Street, we're not talking to you, buddy.
You're like that penguin.
We were talking about you before.
Stumble forward.
You just keep training, buddy. You just get that drool cup ready.
All right. Now we're getting to the meat. We are getting to the absolute best part of this list, and
the good cuts. This is the porterhouse section.
This is the thigh. This is the thigh of the turkey. I mean, this is
the loin right here.
This is what it's all about. These 5 people, and this is what it's all about. Number 5.
Actually, Swill, before you go.
I can't wait.
Before you go.
What's that?
I said, Swill, before you go. As we're naming these 5, if anybody in the chat has any specific comments or questions about these people that they'd like us to address, please let us know.
Yes. Good point. Good point. Bring it up.
I thought we were going to be drinking for this. Are you assholes drinking or what?
I had.
Dude, I thought I was allowed to talk about what type of substances I'm doing.
Like, whatever, man. We don't need to talk about, like, what we do in our free time or whatever, you know, because that's, like, not even part of this. What are you drinking, fucking moonshine, man? Swill's drinking Swill.
This is moonshine. Yep.
No, it's not. You fuck up.
No, well, admittedly, it's not.
This is called...
It's not
Bubba Kush Peruvian Freak is what I'm looking at.
Like, it's that shit that you can buy, you know, because I think it's illegal in Florida, so where I live. But it's moonshine. It's just, it's not like the official. It's not as strong as, like, you know, the authentic shit.
It's hipster moonshine. It's hipster moonshine. When you leave Starbucks and you lose your fedora. Yeah. Is it as bad as the Lime-A-Ritas? Swill, you're giving me shit about my Lime-A-Ritas, but you're over there drinking that mass market fucking moonshine? You fucking hypocrite.
Don't lie. Hey, I still think you're full of shit. I still think
Lime-A-Ritas.
You're drinking Bud.
Bud Lime.
You're drinking Bud Lime. I don't believe that. I think you made shit up when I called you out on
it. Dude, I'm telling you, once you try them, you'll never go back. The chicks love them, too. The chicks love them.
Of course the chicks love them. They're chick drinks.
They're fucking delicious.
I hate Bud Light. I hate Bud.
What are you talking about out there? You're out. They have that shit out there in the country. You're in Montana, dude. They have Lime-A-Ritas out there.
Stop him.
Yeah, Montana, man. We get Lime-A-Ritas imported to the specialty market. All right.
What, they have to be airdropped in by fucking blues?
They have to be pulled in by cow. I'll have you know.
Dude, I'm in Florida by the beach.
Driving the fucking thing.
I'm in Florida by the beach, so we drink fucking. You ever heard of Four Loko?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, but they bitched that up though. They took it down to like 9%. It used to be 13% with all the extra good shit in there.
Yeah, but I mean, the only thing I drink, I like whiskey. I love good whiskey. I like with beer. It can't be domestic because most domestic beer is shit. I mean, unless it's, you know, a true craft. Unless it's a true locally sourced craft beer. That's the only beer I'll drink.
Jesus Christ, you are such a hipster, dude. You need to get in touch with Celerity and Tie-Dye, dude.
All right, so the chat is guessing who number 5 is. So drum roll on number 5.
All right. Number 5. Oh, this is gonna be fucking sweet. Number 5, celerity.
Oh,
Jesus
it's a boot
Christ.
time. It's a
Oh,
boot time.
Christ.
Celerity.
It's a boot time. First Canadian.
Yeah, Mr. Why are you guys so fucking negative? You guys are so fucking stupid. And then he's going to go talk shit everywhere over SOS forums and on Twitter and Facebook. He talks shit about me, you, everybody are all so negative. And then what's he do? He comes back to advertise his game.
With a backhanded apology. Hey, I kind of sort of apologize, but you guys are still assholes, and there's still a few of you that I just don't fucking like. So fuck you guys, but the rest of you are cool. But here's my game. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fucking, what a douchebag. Just go talk shit all over the place. He talks shit all over SOS. He talks shit all over the Steam community page. And then he comes back and tries to advertise another game. He's got another hope for Socom, apparently. And then, like you said, he kind of apologized. He's like, well, I'm sorry, guys, that the game didn't turn out the way I thought it was going to turn out, so that's why I'm here. What do you think of my game? And Mack,
You know
you got more you want to say on this guy, so
Well,
take it
you know
away.
what celerity is? Celerity is a walking, talking reason for the U.S. to invade Canada. That fucking beard cocksucker. Okay? I don't know what his deal is. I mean, what is it with these fucking beards, dude? Somebody needs to send out a fucking mass message on whatever Twitter group all these hipster faggots follow where they think it looks cool to grow their beard out and makes them look manly. It doesn't make you look manly, dude. If you're a skinny fucking retard, and I don't mean you, Tawok, your beard looks very manly.
Thank you. Thank you. I was stroking
if you're a
it for the
skinny
stream.
fucking Canadian fucking nerd, growing a beard out doesn't make you look like a man, you know? And it's these Canadians, and I know we have a few Canadian friends, so I don't mean all you Canadians, all right? But basically, if you're from Canada, just shut the fuck up. Nobody really wants to hear what you have to say. When the fuck did all these Canadians start becoming fans of Socom? Every time I went on Socom, the Canada servers were dead. When did they become such a big part of Socom? It's not about the fucking Canadian. What's the Canadian military do? What, they ride around on fucking mooses and just throw rocks at you? What the fuck is that about?
Keep it rolling. I got AFK again.
But he's just a fucking, like you said, he's just a hipster, snarky douchebag. Like, you can tell he's the kind of guy he's the kind of guy that in order to go to Starbucks and order like a tall, vanilla only frappuccino, he's gonna ride one of those fucking steel bikes from like 1905 that's got like the giant wheel.
Yeah. While he's sitting in the corner on his iPhone fucking making tweets about anti-corporate fucking, messages. Like, oh, corporations are bad, man.
Yeah.
Hold on, I need to charge an iPhone.
Yeah,
Fucking faggot.
Celerity is an anti-capitalist, but he creates, he's the kind of guy, he's the kind of fucking little narc that will make an anti-capitalism meme, but he'll do it from his fucking MacBook Pro that it cost him like $2,000.
Yeah. Yeah, like he buys organic fucking free-range chicken, but then when he gets drunk, he stops at Burger King afterwards to eat something. He's a fucking homo. He really just needs to stop. Yeah. And like I kind of would have gave him the benefit of the doubt, but after he got called out on all his bullshit, all he did was deflect and just keep pushing forward and not even really address the fact that he talked a bunch of shit. So plus that combined with the fact that he's from Canada, I really just, hope horrible things happen to that guy in his life.
His most recent shit, he comes after talking shit all over the web. He comes back to TRF to advertise his new bullshit idea. And me and Tawok and you and a couple other people were like, dude, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, you just talk shit about us for all over the place. Why didn't you listen to us all this time when we told you it was going to fail? We told you it was going to be a fucking train wreck and it was going to be a piece of shit. Why didn't you listen to us? And if you're such a dumbass that you couldn't even see that coming, why the fuck are we going to trust you? Like, why are we going to support your game? Like, why?
Yeah, like, dude, what type of weaselly little bitch fucking changes gears like that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, if you could change gears on HHOUR like that, now all of a sudden we're supposed to support you? I just want to address something in the chat. Jungle, my boy Jungle was telling me Canadia's military is kind of legit. I got to disagree with you, bro. Let me tell you something. 10 drunk Marines with unsharpened pencils could go into Toronto and take the whole fucking city over and hold it, all right? Fuck them.
The celerity, yeah, he is. That beard. I just want to scrape that beard off with a fucking crowbar, to be honest. Man, he's such a...
Oh, wow. Oh, boy, we got a Do You Even Lift reference for you, Swill.
Fuck.
You got little...
Do I even lift?
Are you hurt by that, buddy?
Dude, I'll tell you what's your name? Idiot? Idiot? Hey, idiot. You know what I lift? I do lift, actually. Every fucking day, I lift my gigantic fucking 12-inch dong right up your sister's ass. Every day, just like this. Lift.
Once again,
Lift.
you're here listening to us, idiot. Enough said.
Someone just said my beard looks like his ass crack. You have the most beautiful ass crack I've ever seen. Ever.
That's so weak.
Yeah, I mean, if you have an ass crack that fucking hairy, bro, you got problems, dude. You should probably, I don't know, get some duct tape, put a strip of duct tape back
like
there and
shitting
just
through a
pull.
screen door, man.
You must be Iranian.
Dude,
You braid your asshole hair.
hey, celebrity.
He's got
Celebrity
cornrows and ass crack.
Celebrity's face wants his beard back. Give it back to him.
Yeah.
Take it up your ass.
Yeah, no, I'm not hiding behind a picture. I explained this earlier in the broadcast. I'm running off my phone. So putting my camera on would, A, lag out the feed, and B, you'd be looking at my wall because I'm walking around the house right now.
What are you fucking talking about? That picture, that's fucking you, man.
Yeah, man, that's fucking you, bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking you.
You sent that to me.
That is me, yeah.
The fucking...
All right, so who we got for number 4?
All right. I don't know. I almost don't want to move on from celerity. He's just so fun to make fun of.
You want to stay on him? I mean, you know, we got the beard covered. We got the hipster thing covered. He's from Canada. We got that covered.
Before we
The
go,
bike rep. I definitely picture him riding around on a fucking bike with a bell on it.
before we go, just do us all a favor and wish him what he deserves. Go ahead, Mac. What do you wish upon him?
I really gotta be honest right here. I don't feel that way about him. If I did, I would. And I know where you're going, but I really don't. I really just don't hate him that much. There's others on here. Don't worry, we got others that I will wish that upon. But celerity, he's just a cheesy fucking douchebag from Canada. That's that's no big deal.
Oh shit! All right, so that's number 5. Number 4. Drum roll. Number 4. Wit. Wit is wisdom. Wit
Wow.
is weasel.
Wow.
Wit is
Weasel is wisdom. Wit is weasel.
the wit.
Yeah. I'll just say my piece about him, and then you guys go into it, because I have to admit, when he first came over and the whole taking the bands off of people was started, I really kind of had his back, and I kind of tried to tell people, give him a chance, and he's trying to do the right thing. And Swill especially was like, he's full of shit. He's a bitch. He's just doing this so they can get some extra publicity from us because they know the EA is coming up. And I know me and you, Swill, went at it a little bit, and I kind of disagreed with you. But once again, I have to admit, it turned out you were right, because after that, all the statements he made about how things are going to change over there, he's still letting his little fucking faggot lackey Paul D. girl run around and talk shit and bully people and not answer for it. And he really didn't stick by anything he said. And you were right all along, and he hasn't stood up and faced the criticism for it. He's actually MIA as far as we can tell, right?
Well, from what I understand, he logs in somebody pointed it out. I think it might have been Slick again, actually. But
TRS
somebody was
detective.
pointing
Him.
somebody was pointing out
Slip.
he didn't log in for a full month, for the past 2 months. So like he would log in, it'd go, a month would go by, and then he logged in, and like another month would go by, and he just logged in again recently. It's like even he sees the writing on the wall with this shit. But like my biggest issue with him, honestly, just again, and I don't know him in real life, and I don't really ever give a shit to know him in real life, but I'm just gonna go off his behavior on the internet. You know, he's just fucking spineless. I hate that shit. You know, like that's why like I said, I give Animal full credit. I was like Big Fry full credit. You know, these guys were like Wit at one point, but once shit went down, they had the fucking balls to make the right change, like to change their stance. And this guy, he's literally just a suck the teat pussy. That's all he is. It's just, you know, you could tell he doesn't want to ruffle any feathers because he didn't want to, you know, risk his lead mod position because it's so fucking prestigious, and he didn't want to bite Tom's hand off. So, you know, he just, you know, when he came over to TRS, again, everything related to them, everything related to SOFs, it just reeks, always reeked of just bullshit. And him coming over and trying to, mend things together, and you know, it's just, it was all a ploy, you know, all a fucking, you know, he was just a scout for Tom as far as I'm concerned, and it was just to get, you know, just to kind of get a feel for TRS, maybe see if we can get them back on our side, and then, you know, play a little sugar by getting a little bit of people unbanned, and then, you know, where's he been ever since? Nowhere.
Exactly.
So, and when I called him on it, I said, dude, you know, you're such a bitch, man. Like, why don't you, like, you obviously know everything that's going on because you're the lead mod. I mean, look at all this shit that's happening, you know. Why don't you have the balls to, like, change stance like Animal or like Big Fry? You know, oh, I don't care about that. I don't care about the politics, you know, and that bullshit argument, which I've derailed a number of times, you know, that many people have tried to use. It's just fucking stupid. You know, all the people who said that, including him, you know, all the people who made that argument of, I don't care about the politics, all of them actually contributed to the downfall of this game, because when you ignore bullshit politics, you know, that stuff has an effect on the end product. It has an end effect. That's like, absolutely. That's like the people at Enron going, you know, seeing everything that's going on, all the embezzlement, all the fucking racketeering, and going, oh, I don't care about that. I just care about the stocks. Stocks are great. It's like, you're a fucking idiot, dude. The politics.
You're a part of the problem, yeah. Like, if you know what's going on and you don't take an active role in either remedying it or moving away, then you're as bad as whoever else is really doing the fucked up shit.
Yeah. And all those,
you know, and
it's hilarious. The irony is fucking beautiful. Everybody who made that argument of, I don't care about the politics, I just care about the game, they actually contributed to where HHOUR is at right now. Because if more people would have held them accountable, if people like Wit, you know, and all them fucking douchebags would have held the studio accountable for their actions and their behavior, they wouldn't be in this position right now. They would have been forced to change, or they would have gone the fuck out of business. Period. End of story.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, like if they had the class and integrity to, you know, do what Animal did, they'd have been left without a mod team. So their only option would be to either adjust their business practices or go out of business, you know? And yeah, that's what it boils down to with him. He, you know, and I'm the type of guy, I'm always willing to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. I attributed good intentions to him, and you know, Slick and you were both right. You know, the guy, it was an end play. It was an end around to try and, okay, we'll unban him, but there was never actually any culpability or any kind of admission that, like, hey, this is the wrong thing to do in the first place, you know, which is more important than the actual unbanning. Yeah. I'd rather if they admitted that it was wrong in the first place and then never unbanned us, you know?
Yeah.
And the fact is, it's so too little too late that it really didn't even fucking matter, because I guarantee that, 90% of the people that got banned didn't even go back over there and post anything other than Suede. You know, he was the only faggot that went back over there, and, you know, he jumped right in like fish to water back over there. And, you know, we'll get to that, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really thank them for that, because they basically, took them off our hands, really, you know.
Wit is just,
yeah,
for me,
that's true.
Yeah, so, all right. Well, that's wit.
Yeah, just classless. Just as far as wrapping up wit, just classless, no integrity, spineless, and not deserving of any respect from anybody with any integrity whatsoever. And I just don't understand, like, what is the prestige of I'm a mod at SOF? Is it really worth your fucking integrity? Is it that important to be a fucking mod at a studio like that? Who gives a fuck? Are they even getting paid? They're not getting paid. Like, what is the point of selling off your integrity and your self-respect for nothing? Who gives a fuck, right? I don't know.
It's an internet erection, dude.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, really, it must be. Because there's certainly nothing tangible that comes from being a mod for SOF. Who gives a fuck?
All right. That's number 4. We're getting down to the top 3. Coming in at number 3, Eagle F-15.
Ooh.
Wow. Oh, that poor bastard. Where to begin?
He's such a high-end tool that he fucking proliferates steam on every fucking review, every forum post, anything that he can do, anything but TRS. He's completely gave up on us. We're the lost children.
He literally is on top of every reply on Steam. Like, anybody who says anything even remotely negative or questioning about the game itself, sure enough, there's Eagle F-15 and his fucking pom-poms. Hey, it's just EA, though. Just hang in there. Oh, it'll be fine. Oh, we got great guys working on it. I mean, he is the epitome of a fucking company, man. I don't know. I mean, that guy, his nuts must be the size of fucking raisins. I don't understand how anybody could carry the water for a fucking company like he does. What a fucking douchebag. He's not even a dick, like, where he trolls you or he does anything. He is just such an unabashed.
He's a douchebag, blind, fucking White Knight fanboy. 100%. That's it.
Yeah. Like, he has absolutely no self-respect. He's like the chick that you just beat the shit out of her, and she just keeps coming back. Black eyes and all, fat lips, busted ribs, and she just comes back in. Hey, Tom, you want another sandwich? I'm sorry, was the last one too smushy for you? And then Tom fucking socks him again, and he goes right back out and carries the water. I honestly don't know. I mean, I really hope he doesn't have a family, because I can't imagine any children being raised by a man like that. I mean, what a fucking faggot. He's a disgusting fucking excuse for a man. I really can't imagine. His testosterone levels have to be, like, the same as a female hamster.
Let's take a moment of silence to remember our fallen brothers in the Lovers Ball, as they have not been able to crest an hour and a half of a podcast. And they are done.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah.
Have they shot down?
Yeah, they're done. They turned it off.
Oh,
I guess they couldn't keep all
too bad.
around.
Well, get ready for an influx of all of them coming in here.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, do we have an update on the current HHOUR numbers?
Yeah, that would be nice, huh?
Chat. Somebody in chat, give us an update. What we got? Are we beating HHOUR? Probably got double the numbers.
It's like triple the numbers for a little while there, man.
Somebody in chat, check. What do we got?
Animals on it, man.
28 at 11:39. Okay. 28 people. And this is the game that's supposed to, what, continue selling and then get ported to PS4 with 28 players? I mean, are you kidding me, dude? I could go down to the train station and get more than 28 people to just sit down and play a game of Monopoly. What the fuck is going on there? Like, who could possibly see the statistics and the empirical evidence staring them in the face and continue to support this fucking game? Produced by these fucking scumbags with a Staples employee.
The only people that are going to do that are the people who are the absolute highest form of fucking delusion and denial. They've invested way too much time, way too much money, way too much emotion into this thing to just let it go. They just can't. They're not gonna have. They're gonna ride it. They're gonna ride that HHOUR dick all the way until it softens to the point where they just can't sit on it anymore. Like that's exactly what's going to happen. Those people, you have these select few that are just going to ride that train right off the fucking cliff. Guaranteed.
Yeah, like Precision said, Pre just said in the chat. Like I loved because when Tom said, "Well, we never expected big numbers. We never expected big numbers from the EA. This is right. This is going right as we planned it." Like, what's their plan? Are they planning on getting 10 new players a week for the next 300 years until they get enough players? I guess maybe it's going to get ported to the PS17. Maybe that's the plan.
Yeah, again, it's just another bullshit statement, Tom. You know, oh, damage control. Another example of his damage control. Oh, this is normal. This is normal. This is perfectly what we expected. We expected 9 people to buy the game, so just hang tight. Just hang tight. It's gonna get there. I met with fucking Yao Ming. He told me he was gonna put millions into this game. So
yeah, we got another investment meeting. I'm meeting with my guy Vito in Brooklyn later. He's gonna invest in HHOUR.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yao Ming, Red Man, Method Man. They told me they were Socom fans. I hit them up. They told me they were gonna donate all the sales from their next record from fucking Wu-Tang. They're gonna give me the money and they're gonna help build my game up.
Oh Christ! I doubt those 2 idiots even have any money left in the bank.
You got more than Tom's got in the bank. Oh!
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe if they sell off their grills and their rims, they might make enough money to keep the doors open for a month.
Oh, man.
All right, number 2. Who we got at number 2?
Call the girl. Call the pussy.
Yeah, just the epitome, in my opinion, the epitome of everything that's wrong with HHOUR and the forums. Just a blatant fucking shill, a bully, a punk, a coward, hides behind his mod status, deletes and edits posts at his whim, and then leaves his retorts up while he deletes the posts and trims the posts that he's responding to down. Just a coward in every sense of the word. Truly the lowest of the low as far as what goes on over there. That's basically my opinion of him.
It's just, what's funny too with guys like him and fucking Eagle. Eagle came over a little bit. Paul, you'll see Paul lurk on TRS, but he doesn't have an ounce. He doesn't have an ounce of spine, so a crumb of spine to post anywhere near TRS. He just completely hides over the SOF website and forums. That's it. Has he ever posted at TRS? Like, has he ever? He
came in during the Sears fiasco, and when shit was going on, he came over and he posted a picture with a guy with Eddie Vedder raising a white flag or something, and he got kind of ripped on. And he tried to play it off like, hey, I'm trying to say let's call a truce or whatever. But that's all it was, dude. They just wanted a truce and to die out the feeding frenzy so they can get their forums back up after they were nuked. I mean, they don't really give a shit. I mean, if they want to control the narrative like that on their little hug box, that's what's going to happen. I mean, when you don't have anybody that's allowed to, say anything that even goes anywhere near against the grain, you're never going to make any forward progress. You have to have dissent. You have to have, some arguments. It has to be. That's the creative process. That's how it goes. And they don't allow that.
Hellraiser he said, Paul D. Pearl Necklace.
Good one, yeah.
But he's just,
I like that.
for me, it's if there's one thing in common, like not counting celerity, but if there's one thing in common with these number 4, number 3, number 2, Wit, Eagle, Paul. These guys are the standard flag bearers for this fucking project, and none of them really have the balls to really come to TRS and try to hold their own and actually legitimately defend themselves. They're too bitch made to come over and actually try and start some shit with us. It's like, come on, man. Like, if you're such a defender of this shit, come over and defend it over on TRS, the bigger community where you're going to get the most criticism and you're going to get the most people giving you shit for it. Bring your shit over to TRS and back it up over there. Have the balls to do it.
Dude, that's like bringing a limp dick to a bukkake movie. They can't do it. They don't know what to do. Like, they would rather sit over there and then blindly say, well, it's because of TRS. On one side of their neck, they talk about how, oh, we're 8 guys who just shit talk and hate on a game and we don't mean anything and we're losers and blah, blah, blah. But then on the other end of things, every time something goes wrong, it's because of TRS. It's because of our negativity. Well, which is it? Either we have that power or we don't. Either we're irrelevant or we're relevant. Which is it? If we're relevant, then come over and, debate us on it. And if they did that, I guarantee you they'd have my support. If they came over and they were like, okay, look, and we hammered it all out, and we could bury the hatchet. I'm not a asshole. Well, okay, that's a lie. I am an asshole, but I'm not a guy who's above, being able to look past differences and hammer shit out,
Yeah.
I don't hold a grudge. If people come over and they genuinely want to work things out and work towards a common goal, we would all be willing to do that. But they just refuse to. I have never once heard anybody over there ever acknowledge that they handled anything wrong. If they ever once acknowledged that, okay, you know what, maybe we could have handled that better. That was wrong. We shouldn't have done that. If they could do that, and that's the mark of a man. That's the mark of having class. I've personally myself, I'm able to admit when I'm wrong. I've done shit that, I took things too far, or I've been called out where I've made statements that have been proven to be inaccurate because I misremembered something or I misquoted somebody. And I have no problem whatsoever eating crow, eating my own shit, and saying, you know what, you were right. There's nothing wrong with that. And they just don't have the class or the ability to do that. And until they do, if they ever will, they'll never be successful in what they're trying to do.
Yeah, it's just them three in particular are the issues, man. Come talk shit at TRS. That's my only thing. If you're gonna talk shit, come talk shit at TRS where it counts, not where everybody's gonna fucking rub your balls and make you feel all good about yourself. Come to TRS and talk shit. Otherwise, you're a bitch. Plain and simple. All right.
Yeah, they're doing their shit. That's like playing in the bumper car room. They're getting in the bumper cars over there on SOF. If you want to be real about it, come over to NASCAR where you can get ran into a wall. But they won't do that. So yeah, that's about what we have to say about him. So I know the chat is eagerly anticipating our number one.
Yeah, number one. So, chat, who do you think number one is? Everybody put in their vote. Who's number one? There's really 2 names we haven't touched on yet. So, who's number one? Put your vote in the chat. Who do you think it is? I want to see. I'm interested to see who says who. Let's give it a sec. See what people say. What we got? You got Rosie.
Oh, I forgot about that fucking rotten crotch cunt. I want to talk about her. But
well, go ahead.
Christ, her and son. That might have to wait till the next one. Oh, I fucking totally forgot about that twat bitch.
Shit. All right. Number one. Top 10 list. Biggest hoo-ha fucking skank ass, mark ass trick bitches. Suede. Fucking Suede. Oh my God. And the reason why he's number one, just so everybody understands, we didn't pick Tom for this list, honestly, just because he's too easy of a target. He's too obvious. I mean, it's like, it's just, it was too easy and too obvious. Suede is by far the biggest, and I found a picture of Suede. That's Suede's picture right there, everybody. Look, I found him. That's Suede's picture. I found him online. But he's just, you know, I've never seen somebody just go from being like supporter to like extreme nut hugger to fucking hating the game to I'm gone. That's it. I'm done talking. I'm done with TRS. And then he'll pop up again and he'll be talking shit about how negative we are. And then he's back over at SOS. And then at one point he was like he got banned and he's like fuck Tom. Tom's a douchebag and all that shit. And then and then he all of a sudden what did he do is bipolar schizophrenia kicked in and he fucking started hallucinating and he was SOS is fantastic and he's just
don't forget the apology letter.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he begged. Did he fucking begged Tom to unban his ass for being a little fucking prick over on his website. He's almost, it's so funny. He's such an easy target.
He's a sniveling, fucking weaselly, spineless bag of shit. He's a fucking scumbag. And what he did was he took a thread that Luke made that had nothing to do about Tom, and then without Luke's permission, forwarded that thread to Tom with an apology, as if Luke was also apologizing. Yeah. So for his own weaselly, sniveling, cowardly apology, he piggybacked Luke's thread that had nothing to do with apologizing to Tom and tried to use that to garner some type of goodwill with Tom, which of course was laughed off. Like, he wasn't unbanned because Tom is, Tom actually, for every bad thing you want to say about the guy, he actually at least does have a set of testicles, which Suede obviously doesn't. And Tom would never fucking, Tom will stand behind his shit. As scummy as it is, he at least stands behind his scumbaggery.
I think
you have to on that level.
Nobody wants Suede. That's the thing. Nobody wants him. Like, no, SOS doesn't want his ass over there. We obviously, we kind of put up with him because he gives us something to fucking talk shit about, and he's just an easy target. He's like a fucking punching bag for us. So nobody really cares about him. And Tom's probably like, this fucking guy. I don't want this fucking guy hanging around my website.
Yeah, he's like the kid at recess that just keeps going to the other different groups of kids, and they keep telling him, like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Like, nobody wants you around. Like, just go away. Who the fuck are you? So he tries to mimic and mirror whatever the current way the wind is blowing for whatever group of people he's trying to be in cool with.
Yeah.
And all he'll do, like you see it a million times, he'll make threads and he'll say the most hateful, vile shit to people, and then 2 or 3 days later, he'll come in and just start liking your posts and agreeing with you. If I could show you, you should see I would go for months ignoring that fucking retard. And I wouldn't give him any attention whatsoever. And he was just so obsessed with getting attention from me that he actually would resort to sending me private messages. Like, so after some shit would go on, there'd be a back and forth. He'd send me private messages about, like, oh, dude, you got wrecked. You better just stick to the mattress memes. You're getting wrecked. I'm destroying you. And I was like, wow, man, is it really this important for this kid to be acknowledged by me? Like, I won't acknowledge him in public, but he'll let me acknowledge him in private. It's that important to him. So, of course I ignored him, but it was that important to him. And that's when I really saw he's literally seriously and severely mentally unstable. Like, there's something wrong with him.
Dude, there's something really fucked up with him. So people remember, maybe some of you might not know this, but we had like a day where David Sears popped up on TRS. Remember that? David Sears.
Oh, Christ. Yeah.
David Sears popped up on TRS to tell his side and answer some questions, and he was even given a red name by the fucking staff at TRS. And guess who? We found out he ended up coming out. He got caught because I think it was Luke, matched IP addresses with David Sears and Suede, and he got called out on it. And he actually came out and he admitted it. That this is how much of a sniveling pussy fart this guy is. He actually took time to make a fake David Sears name, and then he fucking tried to act like he was David Sears on the TRS website. And what was his reasoning? Oh, I was just trolling you guys.
Oh, just don't be funny, guys. Heard her. It's no big deal. Yeah, he wasted the time doing that, and he actually let it go on for, 2 or 3 days?
Yeah.
until Luke
It
had
was
to
a
come
while.
on and apologize.
Yeah.
And then Luke actually had enough class that he didn't even name Suede. He just said it was someone made a trick account and didn't, this isn't David Sears. He didn't even name Suede by name. He didn't want to put him out there because he knew the fucking, the backlash that would come from it. And he was nice enough to not even really ban him or do anything about it. But it was just like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you're talking about a guy in his mid-30s who makes a fake account as David Sears to come on TRS, and he wasn't even trolling. He was actually doing it like, hey, this is David Sears. Like, he wasn't even doing it like with anything funny being involved. He was just doing it like trying to have conversations with people as David Sears.
He's
You know what I mean? Like, there was no end game to it. It was just he wanted people to talk to him as David Sears.
He's fucked up, dude. That guy is certifiable.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, like there's something seriously wrong with him. And then anybody who reads his posting history, it reads like a fucking psychiatric notebook. Like one day it's this, the next day it's that. He's screaming and yelling. He's like a typical cluster B personality disorder. The guy's like borderline, big time. He needs to be on medication.
Yeah.
And he found a home.
The official.
He's under about
Suede, man. Remember? The official let's all talk shit about Suede thread.
Yeah. Well, he can, and then of course he sits here and he talks shit about how negative and whatever the TRS is, and then what's he do? He comes over and posts a troll thread, trying to get attention, and then when he gets attention, he gets ripped on, and then all of a sudden, oh, see, you guys are haters. Like what are you talking about, kid? Now he goes back over to SOF. And because it's so benign over there and nothing can, and he's on his meds, I guess, and he's found a little home, he goes over there and it's basically just the same shit. Like he's trying to play that mature role where he just talks about the game. But you can remember back when he changed his signature when he went on his first meltdown, maybe around the holidays, and all of a sudden he changed his signature to some like Mahatma Gandhi quote. Like I guess he had just gotten released from the fucking psychiatric ward and they gave him some reading material and he's like, oh, okay, I'll live like Gandhi and this will be my new philosophy in life. Oh, be the change you want to see in the world. As if somehow his opinions or anything he says on the forums have any kind of weight with anybody whatsoever. Nobody gives a shit. The guy takes himself so fucking seriously that, he's just a mental patient, but a funny mental patient, because I have to admit, I got to be honest here, I kind of do miss some of his idiotic posting because, for better or worse, there was an entertainment factor there that just isn't there without him around,
Of course. He was our fucking punching bag, man. He was our, that was it. He was our fucking court jester.
And the good part about it is that he didn't even realize it. Like, he would get slayed by a dozen different members from a dozen different angles. And he would actually come out of the other end of the thread thinking that he won the argument or that he destroyed somebody. And then he'd start another thread like, oh, don't make me have to make you look stupid again. Like, really? Okay. Yeah, he's just got mental problems. And, in this case, we were going to do it earlier, but I absolutely, in this case, wish cancer upon him. I wish testicular cancer upon him because I would like his testicles to be ravaged with cancer so he's unable to reproduce because we just don't need those kind of defective genetics for the next generation. I mean, I don't have any problem with him living his life. He can still be a functional member of society. He can sweep floors or whatever it is that he does. But he definitely shouldn't reproduce because he is so off the fucking rails insane. He's just batshit crazy. We do not need him reproducing. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, man. I hope a fucking government vaccine that's, made to fucking quell the population. I hope he gets that shit first.
Actually, honestly, I forgot all about this because not only is he insane, he's also fucking dumb as a bag of hair. Do you remember the one thread in the privates where I forget who it was, but they brought up something about the Underground Railroad and we were talking about immigration, and he was talking about Mexicans jumping over the border, and he's like, oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. It's like Slick put something up like, yeah, a lot of times they come in tunnels underground. He's like, oh yeah, just like the Underground Railroad. What a fucking idiot. I said, are you fucking serious? How fucking dumb are you? Like, could you possibly be that fucking stupid? Are you serious? And yeah, apparently he is that fucking stupid. So not only is the guy crazy, he's fucking dumb. So that's a dangerous combination.
Well, he's
But yeah, so as far as that goes, yeah, I definitely hope he gets testicular cancer and he can't reproduce. But I don't want him to die because he's kind of entertaining.
oh, the tears. Oh my god. The Underground Railroad.
That's Underground Railroad. What a fucking idiot, dude. Even Street would fucking know better than that.
Like, didn't he say something about Harriet Tubman? Like, that's what it was.
Some shit, dude. I don't fucking know, man. God, he's so fucking dumb. He really is fucking stupid, man. If you really go back and read his posts,
Yeah.
and you see how fucking stupid he is, like I don't know. I would say I would put his IQ around like maybe 90, low 90s, something like that. He's definitely below average, but he's not a complete like medical retard. Like he could probably function like doing some type of like manual shit. Like if you have him pushing buttons or sweeping floors, he could probably handle that. But God, is he fucking dumb. But yeah, I don't want to get too into him. I don't want to give him too much attention. But
Swain's that's our top 10. And like I said, we didn't put Tom because he's too obvious, too easy of a fucking target. And this was really for just the clowns that were around the TRS forums and the SOS forums and all that shit. We just wanted to clown on them people for a good. We've been going for a good over 2 hours, man. Shit. Oh, that's
Yeah, man.
So
Just over
in
2
the-
hours.
what we actually want to do now is open up the chat, and if anybody has any questions for us or wants to call us, fucking douchebags or wants to talk shit to us, we'll go ahead and just throw that shit right back at you. And then, but if you have any questions for us, individually, you can ask us some questions and we'll answer. And just open up the chat. What do you guys want to hear? What questions you got? What do you guys want to say? What do you guys want to talk about? Speak your mind.
well, Scarface, Scarface just said something about Redline. We really didn't do anything about Redline because frankly, he wasn't involved in HHOUR. That's more of an internal TRS thing with him.
Yeah.
We might touch on that down the road if we do something like this again. But for this particular broadcast, he really wasn't relevant to the conversation. We didn't feel.
Mack, somebody asked. It was who was it? It was Psycho. He asked, "How many whores did you beat up today?"
None, actually. I had my one regular old lady. I threw her out of the house, though. I told her to go out so I could do this, because otherwise you would have heard her rustling around all night. And so I told her to go out with her friends and hopefully get laid, so that way she doesn't come home and expect me to bang her.
Street asked. He was asking us, "What do you want to see change about HHOUR World's Elite, and what could bring the community together again 100%?" What do I want to see a change about HHOUR? I want to see it going from like having a chance, like being alive, to being completely fucking dead. Like that's the change I want to see. I want to see it happen as soon as possible. And if there was a change I want to see in terms of the whole project, it would be, the studio change. That's not going to happen. But what's going to bring the community together? This shit just dying, and then we can just go back to talking about fucking hot dogs and shit again. I don't know.
No, Scarface. I liked Enemy at the Gates. I just had an issue with the fact that the three main characters were all British actors playing Germans, speaking with British accents, and Ed Harris was an American actor playing a Russian, speaking with a German accent. Or playing a German, speaking with a Russian accent, rather. It was a good movie in and of itself, but the accents kind of threw me off. I'm kind of like a stickler for, shit like that.
Dizzy wants to know who would win in a fist fight, tie dye or celerity. Fucking tie dye's got to win that shit. I think celerity would lose a fight to a fucking hamster.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Whoever gets a hold of the other's faggoty ass beard first and then just punches in the face repeatedly, that's probably going to be your winner. Although I would guess if you punched either one of those pussies in the face, they would just curl up in a fetal position and cry until the police came.
Animal said, talk about how you feel about the core values that the SOF4 Constitution is based on. I didn't know they had core values. They have core values? Well, they sure as fuck didn't stick to them if they did. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I think SOF there's nothing that can be done for that studio. I don't think SOCOM's dead.
Yeah.
I don't think that it can't be resurrected by another studio. I think this studio shit the bed and screwed the pooch so bad that there's no going back from it. I mean, which it's important now, I think, more than anything, is that we try to separate HHOUR from SOCOM as much as we can, because we don't want any future people who might want to try to resurrect SOCOM to think that HHOUR is a representation of what SOCOM is, because it's not, nor is it the type of studio we want handling it.
Yeah. Psychopath asked again, do you guys believe there will ever be another SOCOM? I think that's a guarantee. Honestly, I think at some point. That's like I said, and this has been talked about on TRS and stuff. I mean, there's, when you get people that say SOCOM is dead and all that, that's just bullshit rhetoric. It's just nothing to back it up. And there have been games that have been dead for a long time that end up getting brought back. And with the technology nowadays, in the HD technology and all the indie studios and all the platforms, I mean, SOCOM will be back in some form. Maybe it will take 5 years or 10 years, I mean, I'm the type that's willing to wait. I don't need a fucking game that badly. That's why I don't mind seeing this game fail, because I can wait. It don't mean shit to me, but there will definitely be another SOCOM game. I mean, what do you guys think? You guys agree or no?
Yeah, I think what's old is new, and what's new is old. I mean, eventually the market saturation with first-person shooters is just so insane at this point, and has been for so long, that eventually somebody will realize, wow, maybe we should just try something different. I mean, I don't know what the fuck happened around like 2006, 2007, but whatever happened with Call of Duty, everybody just went, okay, that's what we're doing now for the next 10 years, and that's what happened. I mean, the PS3 generation was pretty much just dedicated to first-person shooters, and eventually it happens in every area of creative, type of stuff, whether it be movies, television shows. You remember in the mid-2000s when they ran out of ideas for movies, so they just started making 80s TV shows into movies for about 5 years. And that's what's going to happen. Eventually, somebody will make a third-person shooter and do it right, and then it'll sell, and then maybe it'll trigger something like happened with the first-person renaissance. Yeah.
Well, and HDK touched on it too in the chat. He said the franchise needs a break from the bad games and the community turmoil, and it's true. I mean, it's like you need, I think right now SOCOM needs this downtime. It needs to kind of self-destruct and kind of go back to nothing so that it can actually be rebuilt on a clean slate. I think this is, as much as it may suck, I think it's part of that process. I think it just needs to be totally just broken down and then built from a clean slate. You can't expect an independent studio or Sony to try and build it again when it's like fucking damaged goods. It just doesn't make sense to do that. So they need to let it damage itself out, and fucking crumble. And then once, after a little bit of quiet time, it can kind of bring it back once everything's died down a bit. So that's why it's important that sites like TRS stick around. That's why it's important, people like us in the community stick around. If we want to see this game again, it's got to happen. You just have to wait it out.
I really think that community aspect is overrated. I mean, when you're talking about these games now with their development costs are in the tens of millions. I mean, Call of Duty, you're talking $50 million, and when people say, well, SOCOM would never sell like that, well, even at its peak, If SOCOM sold at its peak right now in this current market, you're talking in the 1.5 to 2.5 million range. That would be considered a tiny slice of the market. So because video games blew up the way they have, we're not looking for, and we never were looking for COD numbers. And I think like the community aspect's overrated. I don't really think they give a shit about. I mean, Activision would continue to churn out fucking whatever shit they think is going to make them money, you know, like, and that's why if you look at Madden's essentially the same fucking game every year. All they do is update the rosters. They do as little work as possible, and it's been running on the same engine for what? How many years now? 10 years? 12 years? You can look at PS2 Maddens where a lot of the movement of the players is more fluid and is actually better than the shit you saw on PS3. And that's an unfortunate byproduct of consumerism where they know they can get away with doing shit like that because they dumb it down to the lowest common denominator as far as the consumer goes. And when your consumer base is, 12-year-old ADD medicated fucking retards who are going to play the game for, 2 hours a night and they just want to talk some shit and then go do their homework and go to bed, that's what's going to happen. I still think there's a third-person market there. I think there always will be. Yeah. And I think it's basically about the same size as it was 12 years ago because the market 12 years ago was about 2 million or so people. And I think there are 2 million or so people that would purchase a game like SOCOM in today's market. And I think that wouldn't affect. That doesn't necessarily mean that Call of Duty needs to fall off. You could still have your brainless first-person idiocracy type shit. But, there's still that little window for the third-person guys. That's what I really hate about it. Like, it's got to be one or the other. Like, the fact that they won't allow for that one little niche, at least focus something on that niche. You know what I mean?
I think what will happen is you're going to see a lot of indie developers come out over the next decade or so, 5 to 10 years. And I think that SOCOM will get picked up. Somebody will find the community and see how passionate it is and do a little bit of research on it, and somebody will pick it up and bring it back. I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, I'm kind of skeptical of Sony touching it and willing to. They may touch it, but if they do, I would be surprised if they make it like the older games. I just don't think, like you said, with the way the industry is and the budgets and what the expectations are, I just think it's going to be down to an indie developer to want to please the community and do something for the community, and that happens all the time. I mean, if you go on Steam, look how many fucking thousands of games are on there from just indie developers. Anybody can do that, and anyone can make another SOCOM game that plays like they used to. It's definitely possible, and I would be shocked if it didn't happen. So.
Well, frankly, and to jump in, Tawok, I don't mean, do you have something to say, Tawok? I don't want to keep jumping in here.
I'm enjoying listening to you guys, but I personally think that SOCOM will come back someday, but it'll probably be done by Sony, and it will probably still miss the mark as far as we're all looking for.
Yeah, it's possible, for sure.
Well,
but I also think one of the things I'm hoping for standards.
I really don't, though. Honestly, I could deal with the way technology is advancing, and I mean, I guarantee within 5 years, probably, a fucking teenager in his basement in Ohio could get an old build of SOCOM 2 and be able to recreate those maps, put it on a server, and make it playable. The main thing holding everything back is Sony not releasing those maps. Like, if we could have a brushed up version of those maps with a fan editor that could then be made so fans could make their own maps and add it to a server, I'd be fine with that, dude. I really would be. I don't need a AAA development studio. I don't need it to be Sony. If I had a good 100 to 200 people with the ability to hop on a Steam box with a controller and play the classic maps plus fan edit maps, I'd be perfectly content with that, which is what is kind of so frustrating about it, because that's not really asking a lot. We're not asking for millions of dollars. Just give us the opportunity. We love the maps. We love the game. Don't keep them on the shelf collecting dust. If you're not going to do anything with them, at least release them and let somebody make some kind of use out of them.
Well, there's an opportunity for an indie developer, or Sony for that matter, what you do, and this is something that the community is going to have to accept. It's 2015. You're just going to have to accept that this stuff has to happen. And what can happen is they can make a SOCOM game that plays exactly like the old game, cleaned up graphics and cleaned up sound, and you can add in stuff, along the way that gives them a profit incentive. They can have a. I've always been an advocate of one of the features being an online store where however they do it, I don't know how they're going to do it, but like when you play the game, you can earn points or whatever, and you can use those points to get to buy, or you can maybe buy cosmetics to make your guy look cool or whatever, or you can as much as we all hate DLC,
right?
You could do DLC or whatever. But there's ways for a developer or a company to take SOCOM and make like a residual profit on it. That way we get the game we want.
That's some type of passive income coming from it.
Yeah, we get the game we want, the way it plays, the way we want it to play, and they get to make a little bit of profit the way they need to make profit, and it just makes sense, So it's definitely possible.
Yeah, well, if they have these IPs sitting on their shelf, right, and they have these maps that are essentially doing nothing for anybody, they're just collecting dust on their shelf as their IP.
Yeah.
And if it could be put on a server where a group of people did like those maps, wanted to play, they could pay for the privilege, or like you said, what have you, put it on the PSN store. However, whatever the case may be, that's a passive income they can make. Obviously, it's not a lot of money, but rather than just letting them sit there, collect dust, do something like that. It almost seems like there's a conscientious effort to make sure that this type of game isn't released. It's amazing to me, out of all the options in all these games, that they just won't do it. And it comes down to corporatism. Like when you look at it, if you look at the PS2 generation and all the different types of games that came out and all the chances developers and studios took with different types and styles of games, they just don't do that anymore. It has to be this type of game. We need X amount of money. We need X amount of profit, and they won't take any risks. They won't take any chances. And it's unfortunate, but that's just, I guess, how it is right now.
Somebody at Scarface asked, what do you guys think happened between Sears and SOFs? Well, in my opinion, I think it's a little bit of two things. I think Tom was, Tom's a fucking egocentric control freak, and I think he probably stepped on David's toes too much. And between that and, fucking David not getting paid, I'm sure those two things together forced him out. And the reason why he never said anything is, people throw around the NDA excuse, but I think for me, because I've seen statements from him where he said, he doesn't want to hurt the project, or I just think he didn't want to hurt the project, so he never said anything about it. He didn't say why he left. He didn't say, he didn't make any noise because he didn't want to turn people away. And I'm not saying I agree with that. I completely disagree with that. But I think it was, people say it had to do with money and all that, and that may play a part. But again, I'm looking at behavioral patterns, thinking of Tom, and, Tom has had the audacity to reach out to other websites and tell them, to delete comments and, these people are being critical, you need to delete that and all this shit. It's like, what makes me think that guy's not going to try to control David Sears? He's obviously a fucking, control freak, and he just probably stepped all over David, and David said, fuck off, man. And that was it. I mean, that's my opinion anyways. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, I think if they had the money to actually pay the guy, maybe some of that could have been worked out. But I think personality conflict, in conjunction with the fact that there was really no kind of pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, just was the perfect storm for him leaving. It's nobody's going to work for free. And at the time, after the Kickstarter was reached, and I really think the fact that they started it in Unreal 3 and then wanted to change it to Unreal 4 like that, I don't know whether that was just bad timing or bad decision making on their part. And if this Kickstarter maybe happened a year later and they could have kickstarted it for work on the Unreal 4, so that proof of concept could have been done and been playable for Unreal 4. I think the fact that all of that time had to be wasted going from 3 to 4 with essentially a fucking, Coffee Boy Staples employee doing that task is just a recipe for destruction. Like, who the fuck could deal with that? I mean, I think Sears probably took a look around at the landscape, the writing on the wall, and he was like, how am I ever going to get paid from this shit? And he left. I mean, as far as what actually happened behind the scenes, we all know Tom's a dick, so I'm sure that he didn't like working with the guy. The guy's a scumbag. That's pretty much apparent from everybody who spent any time with him. But at the end of the day, if Sears thought there was some big payday at the end of the road, he probably would have stayed.
Yeah. Animal has said, because David has a career to think about, and like it or not, silence is how you gain the trust of new employers. I mean, Animal, we're not saying that he should have come out and talked shit about the game and said, "Oh, this game's going down the toilet." But like other people have alluded to, he should have just said, "Guys, just so you know, I'm not going to be I'm not associated with SOS Studios anymore." Just make a statement, make a simple statement that you're no longer involved. But he didn't want to do that because he didn't want to hurt the project. He didn't want people to go away from it, which I disagree with that. But to me, that's the reason why he didn't do that, in my opinion. And if I'm wrong, I don't know. I'd love to be wrong, but.
Well, I mean, his own quote, I believe, was he will never walk away from an IP ever again, which
that quote,
has turned out to be. It just turned out to be total bullshit, obviously. And not only did he walk away from an IP, he skulked away from an IP like a thief in the night, at a minimum a month prior to our own TRS investigators digging it up and forcing SOF's hand to announce it. And it's my opinion that to this day, they would still be operating under the guise of David Sears still being employed there had we not brought it up. I mean, if they could have gotten away with it, they would have still had everybody thinking, oh, yeah, David, he's hard at work. Like, it wasn't until their hand was forced that they ever admitted it. So Sears ran off like a thief in the night, and that's why I say he kind of gets a pass from a lot of people, and he shouldn't. He really shouldn't, because he's the one from his own mouth, I'll never walk away from another IP again. Not only did he walk away from an IP, he walked away like a thief in the night and didn't have a fucking word to say about it to the community that he supposedly, was so appreciative of and had so much respect for.
Well, there's no doubt.
I still say he walked away a broke thief. I don't think he walked away, like, well compensated. He walked away being like, oh, fuck, I'm not making any money here as much as I'd like to.
I just think, there's no doubt that had people not brought up the issue of David Sears not being there anymore, of course they never would have said shit about it. There's no question about that. They never would have said shit about that happening. It would have been full steam ahead. Here's pictures of David, fucking people drinking beers, and nothing would have changed. Nothing would have changed. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I understand, like, I don't think Sears somehow profited from himself leaving, but the man did say he'd never walk away from another IP again.
Oh,
sorry. Even despite. Oh, go ahead, bro.
We got a good one. Jungle asked, do you think if Justin got his company back, do you feel that he would have been able to right the ship, Mr. Blue?
At this point, no. I think it's too far gone.
Oh, yeah. That's a waste of time.
I don't think anybody, short of a huge influx of money and Hideo Kojima coming in and taking over the project, could this be turned into anything even remotely playable or profitable? No, I don't think so. Yeah. But unfortunately, with questions like that, all we can do is speculate, because all we get is innuendo and riddles and all sorts of other shit. So I can't really speak with any real knowledge on it, because we don't know what happens. We don't really get any of that real inside info. Like, we know there was some legal shit going on. We know that something happened and then something else happened, but nobody says shit. So all we can do is speculate. And I don't know, so that's all I can say.
SOF Studios at HHOUR is a fucking, it's going to die. The only thing that will save it is if they get astronomically miraculously lucky and somebody gives them like real money, somebody with some real financial backing gives them some money to put into this. That's the only way this is going to happen. There's no, it's literally below 0% chance that this game gets to PS4 through Steam sales. Anybody believes that is fucking insane. There's no chance of that happening at all. So, you know, it's dead. It's a dead project, and people just have to accept it and move on. And the sooner you do, the happier you're gonna fucking be. Just join the hate train, have a laugh about it, talk shit, and just try to enjoy it, because it's not gonna make it. Period. End of story.
Yeah, not in its current iteration. Like, there's no way with the current staff, the current management, that it will ever do anything. I mean, what are we looking at now? How many people are actually online right now? Are we under 20 yet? So they have under 20 people online at midnight on a Saturday. They're trying to emulate Socom 2. Socom 2, even on its worst fucking days at the tail end of everything, you're talking thousands and thousands of people that were online. This was the hot time to be playing. I mean, we know, all of us, we would be up until late in the early morning hours playing this. This was the best time to be online. Yeah. So if they only have 20 or so people on there, and keep in mind, their website, they supposedly have 10,000 members. How the fuck do you have 10,000 members and people that support your game? And now that it's in early access, there's only fucking 20-something people online on a Saturday night at midnight.
Well, that's what happens.
People think you're successful?
That's what happens when 9,500 of your fucking members are fucking sock accounts, man.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's what's fucking laughable about it. I mean, really, if they came out and told the truth, like, okay, man, we're having trouble or whatever, just try and help us out, get online, do what you can do, then fine. Like, we at least know what we're working with. But the fact that it's all propaganda and it's all bullshit, you never get a straight answer about anything. And no matter how bad it looks, you're still going to get the rose-colored bullshit quick looks from them. Like, hey, yeah, 20 people online. I'm going to a meeting in fucking L.A. tomorrow. They're very interested. What are you going to do?
All right.
Thing's dead. I mean, it's just a matter, at this point, it's a matter of how long until it actually folds.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time, short time. So, all right, well, let's wrap it up here. Any closing statements, comments, shit talk we want to do, or?
I just want to say that Socom 2
I'm
is the
good. I
vastly
mean, if
superior
anybody's
game in the series.
Absolutely, that goes without saying. Even a retarded child knows that Socom 2 shits all over Socom 3 from a great height.
I mean, Socom 3 in specific.
All right. Well, no, but seriously, what? Let's do this. You want to have this debate? Why did Socom start to fail? Let's do it. Let's fucking do this. Let's do it. I got my screenshots. I got my statistics. Let's do this.
I got my game numbers, man. I got average hours logged among average members using.
Let's do it. You want to do it?
I don't actually want
to. Where's that?
Before you go further,
I know you're hiding that.
Go any further. You, from your own mouth, you have already acknowledged that Socom 2 is the superior game.
It's a better game. Socom 2.
So that's.
I wish
the argument ends there.
Yeah.
The argument ends there. We don't need to have this debate. You've already admitted it.
And I think the reason why Socom 2 was better was it was more simple. It was more streamlined. I did like the 8v8 better than the 32 versus 32. I didn't mind it. It didn't bother me at all. But in terms of a game, SOCOM 2 was a technically better game. But
do you know why it was a better game? You're listening to why it was a better game right now because of the people that played it. Yeah. Because if we played SOCOM 2, it would be us playing every night. I'd get off work and I'd come home. I'd be like, yo, all right, let me log on because I know Swill and Tawok and Piper and Animal are going to be on.
Yeah.
And we would go play. And I really didn't care. Hey, what do you guys want to play tonight? Oh, you want to do Breach? Oh, you want to do, Snipers Only, whatever. I didn't care what we were playing. All I cared about is who I was playing with.
Of course.
And that's what games today have lost. Because now they're too focused on creating something that people want to play by themselves. So, okay, I like this map, but I'll be playing with a different 15 people every fucking night.
Yeah.
The reason that we all kept logging on to SOCOM 2 every night is, like you said, Swill, the best night of your life on SOCOM 2 was what? When you were up all night bullshitting with your buddies in the lobby till 7 in the morning.
It was actually on SOCOM 3, but the best memory I have from SOCOM was when like me and 10 clan members would just talk bullshit in a lobby from like 11 o'clock at night until like 9 o'clock in the morning the next day. We just talk shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Like I was telling you last night, what we would do, we would go into the U.S. East medley because U.S. East was the most packed server, and we go into the most packed room and the most packed server, and one by one, we'd weasel our way in there. And then once we had 5 guys in there and we knew we could shut it down because they couldn't green up without us 5 guys, we would turn around and tell everybody in the room, get the fuck out, our clan's coming in.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, what? What are you talking about? We've been here all night. I'm like, well, there's no game here until you get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And if that meant we were going to sit there till 5 in the morning for 7 hours in a lobby talking shit back and forth to each other, then that's what was going to happen. Yeah. And people didn't realize that. And a lot of them would dig their heels in at 11 p.m. and they'd be like, oh, well, we're not going anywhere. I'd be like, okay, whatever. And then once we got enough guys in on our side, we green up and then we just team kill everybody on the other side and vote them out. Then get more of our clan in. So eventually we just have a clan room in the busiest server on the entire SOCOM 2 website. And we'd play like a 5-on-5. And anytime another guy came in, we'd team kill and vote him off on each side. That's what made SOCOM 2 great. It was the community. You just don't have that anymore. Like, you just can't, like, bullshit and get to know people like you used to be able to back then.
That's pretty hard to get to know people in a game that doesn't have VoIP.
Yeah, right.
Tactical.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Yeah, they don't even have that, huh?
All right. Well, you know, what do you fucking people want to do? All right. So I think that pretty much wraps up. What, fucking 2 hours and 50 minutes? Damn.
2.5 hours of hate. Hate.
Nah, it wasn't all hate, man. There was plenty of love, dude. We had some good topics, some good loving topics we were talking about. You know, we had some positivity going on. You know, we had some good shit going on there.
So,
is this going up, Tawok? When's this going up? I'd like to actually watch it since I was just on the phone.
It'll probably be done processing and all that shit by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right. Well, that should wrap up the first Haters Ball podcast. That was personally, I want to thank everybody for coming out and watching. And
absolutely, yes. Thanks, guys, for coming out and supporting. Definitely.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. And we talked about doing something else. I don't know what else we can hate on. There's definitely going to be another episode when this shit finally tanks and we can all bask in the fucking fiery glory of this game finally.
Oh yeah, the funeral procession. We'll definitely have a we'll have a wake and a funeral.
Idiot's back. Swill, go. Swill, please go join a gym ASAP.
Yeah. He's such a doughboy. Right.
See, the thing is, idiot. Swill lives in Florida, where firearms can be purchased very easily, so he doesn't need to go to the gym. Also, it doesn't matter what you look like and how much you lift when you're actually gainfully employed, because women only care about the size of your wallet, buddy. So you keep on lifting, and keep on thinking that anybody gives a fuck what your biceps look like. And we'll just keep going on, just being great at life while you suck at life. While you're in our stream talking to us.
Just come to TRS and talk. We'll deal with it there. But
yeah, I'm gonna hop on there myself after this for a follow-up.
Says thank you, Mack and Swill and Tawok for the stream. Street, you are welcome. You are welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, Street. Yeah, dude. We didn't mean to rag on you too hard, man, but we're just saying, bro, you gotta clean up your act, man, because I know personally smarter than you try to come off, dude. I know you're better than that.
You ain't fooling nobody. You ain't fooling nobody, bitch.
Yeah, you can't bullshit a bullshitter, man. I was bullshitting people while you were still in diapers, buddy.
All right.
But yeah, had a great time, man. Thanks everybody for coming out. Tawok, you're awesome. Thanks for hosting it.
Yeah.
Swillimanjaro, you're
Yeah.
my boy, dude. I'm glad we finally got to chat in person and everything, dude. You know, we had some epic back and forths. It's awesome to see, you know, where we ended up now. If you looked at how we would be butting heads about a year ago.
Hell yeah, man. Well, you know, hopefully Tomb comes back around. That'd be funny. We should get Tomb. I'd get Tomb on stream. Let's do it. Me, you.
Dude, I'd love to have Tomb on, man. I'd love to have Tomb on. I'd love to make this like a monthly or bi-monthly thing, dude. This is a good time. I like chatting with everybody like this. It's a good time.
Everybody, if you can get in touch with Tomb on a personal level, tell Tomb to get his bitch ass out here. And we'll just talk shit. We'll just talk shit to each other for a good while. I'll do that. I'm all up for it. Let's do it.
Oh, hey, you know what? I almost forgot. I got to give a shout out to Smokey, man. Because
Yes.
Smokey wasn't able to be here tonight.
Yeah.
And Smokey was actually a big part of this. And he was a big part of, you know, the implementation and of trying to get this started. But unfortunately, he couldn't be here. So I wouldn't want to fucking sign off without really giving a tip of the hat to Smokey. Because he was a big part of even getting this stuff off the ground, you know?
Smokey. My boy. He'll probably be on the next one, I think. But
yeah. Unless that Mexican Tijuana hooker that gave him the throat infection, unless that really is bad and he can't talk.
all right, I think that's a wrap, right?
That is a wrap, gentlemen.
I guess so, man. Yeah.
All right, everyone.
All right,
coming out. We'll see you on the forums and fuck HHOUR.
All right, Swill. All right, Tawok. Take it easy, everybody. I had a blast.
All right, peace out.
All right, guys, we're signing off. Take it easy.
Peace.